What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Juice is Loose, number 139. I'm your host, Terminator Juice, and it's just me and Terrell for the moment. I don't know where he's at. Told him where to start. He can jump in when he can. Also, Leveled Head Gamer is going to try to jump in later. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. But since just the two of us, I'm going to start with a little Easter story. First time I've been to like get together with the family since the Switch came out, which
Wait,
is
wait. Before you start, I want to make one statement.
you're breaking up.
The bitch. I was gonna say is that I am the one black person that was on.
Yeah, I can't. You might have to drop out, try to get back in.
What is up with today? Today's gonna be some shit.
So yeah, that was unless you want to get on your phone and see if that. But
am I still breaking up?
it's all right now. So if you're gonna say what you're gonna say,
All I was gonna say is that I am the one black person who showed up on time. So
yeah,
it's not a stereotype, folks. It's some niggas are just lazy. It's just wanted to be stated.
Trust me, I know plenty of white folk who never show up on time for anything. So one's my best friend. So
it's multicultural. We're all lazy sometimes.
yeah, yep.
Go ahead.
All right. So yeah, Easter yesterday, and like I said, I haven't gone to any, like went to some dinners and stuff, but nothing at anyone's house. So I bring the Switch, and Force Awakens was on TV, and people are talking, and my step niece is 17, and her friend was there, and then my nephew is 7, and my niece is like 5 or whatever. So I have the Switch sitting there. No one's asking about anything. And I looked to the 17-year-old and I was like, it's like, you want to play some Tetris? She's like, Tetris? She's like, that's an old game. I was like, oh, you don't know how to play? She's like, oh, I know how to play. It just doesn't stimulate me. So I set up the Switch. She's like, what is this thing? Like, what is this? And I handed her a controller and I put it on, and a minute later, she's like completely focused, trying to beat me, and didn't want to quit playing, but she had to go to work. We played like 3-4 matches in a row. And while she like handed the controller to her friend, we played, and it was like this. I've never played competitive Tetris before. Last time I really played it was on the NES. So that was cool. And then my nephew played, and he sucked at Tetris, but he's good at the Puyo Puyo game. And he was almost beat me. And yeah, so that was a cool experience. That was my first time handing a Joy-Con to somebody.
You shared the joy.
And playing sideways Joy-Con. I didn't even have the wrist straps. Not as crucial for that game. You got to use the, what is it, ZR? What do they call those buttons?
No, they call them SR now.
SR and SL is how you hold a block.
That's how you switch.
So, but yeah, it was a cool experience. And then my buddy came over, who's 32 years old, so he's played Tetris before, and we started with Samurai Showdown 4, which I picked up, the Neo Geo game. I'll talk about that in a little bit. And after a while, he's like, yeah, I'm done. And I was like, let's try this Tetris game. And he's like, oh, I'm good at Tetris. We did the swap one where it swaps like randomly. It gives you like a 3-second countdown. And I tell you what, it was like Smash Brothers on those Saturday nights we used to play. One more game. And like, oh, I got to get going after this game. We'd finish. I'd barely beat him. One more game. And then he'd beat me, and I'm like, dude, let's just do one more. We did that for like 45 minutes. And we played the Tetris demo, which after every match, you have to go right back through the menu and set it all up again.
Oh, really?
We played that more than the game I actually bought, which was Samurai Showdown 4. And it's like, I'm sold on Tetris. I'm sold on that game. I don't care that it's...
Yeah, about to say, you got to remember, there's a reason why it's a classic.
I know, the gameplay it's tried and true, but the Puyo Puyo is fun too. Like in the switching, I don't know if that's been done in a game before, a Tetris game where it swaps back and forth.
No, I think this is the first one. I think
that's really cool. That's a really cool mechanic, and it works great with the Joy-Con sideways. The perfect game for that, and it actually has, you can choose characters, and they're like trash talking during the match and calling out like, I forget what, the characters
special
say.
Attacks or
like you get like a line of like 2 or 3, and then it's like backdrop or whatever. I don't know. I can't think of whatever they say, and it was just cool. And it's just got a fun aesthetic, and it's it's just classic Tetris and the Puyo Puyo game, which is, I'm guessing, kind of like a mobile game, like where you have to have 4 of the same color. I don't know what.
I guess I gotta. I never heard.
I don't know
Puyo
if
Puyo
like Candy Crush is like that. I don't know what mobile games are like that, but it's fun. And all I can say is I'm buying that game now. And when I saw the announcement on January 12th, it was like, what the fuck? Why do I care about Tetris? You know, it wasn't even on my radar. And it's like now I mean, it's fun. It's addicting, and I can't wait to have the full version and play 4 players, you know, in between, you know, when Smash Brothers is out and Mario Kart, you know, and say that's definitely a game that I could go to with confidence and have fun with. So I'm sold on that. Yeah, and then, like I said, it was cool actually having someone play the Switch like in tabletop mode with, and Leveled Head's going to join in a second, and he took his to the barbershop, and just like him, I had to kind of coerce people to play it. Like I just had to hand them a controller. So what's up, Level?
What's up, man?
Hey.
Yeah, I was just sharing a story where I took my Switch to my sister's house yesterday for Easter, and I had to hand people controllers to get them to play the Switch and get interested. And we were playing the Puyo Puyo Tetris demo, and it was like addicting as hell. Like we played for probably close to a half hour. And before I did that, it was just sitting there. No one was interested. But once I handed the controller to somebody, then it became interesting and it was fun. So I know
you shared the joy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of similar to my experience when I took it to the barbershop.
Mm-hmm.
Long as I was playing it in my isolated, independent gameplay, nobody really cared. But once I handed those Joy-Cons to a couple of guys around me, then everybody in the barbershop started asking questions about what is this device and all that. So yeah, you gotta be more aggressive with it, or they ain't gonna ask questions.
No, and I picked up Samurai Showdown 4, but I haven't tried that with the split Joy-Con or with the separate Joy-Con. But you played like the Perfect Fighters or what is it called?
Yeah, World Heroes Perfect.
Yeah, you played that with just a separate Joy-Con, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
at first I thought it was gonna be unplayable. I'll be honest, but after a few seconds of getting used to the size of the Joy-Con, it was fine. It was no different than holding a Super NES controller in your hand.
Yeah. So, I mean, I played like that for, like I said, about a half hour, and I didn't even think twice about, hey, I'm holding this little controller. For Tetris, obviously, it's a different story. It's a lot less demanding on, button presses. But the one thing about Samurai Showdown is the button layout's weird. Like, I had to really rethink, because it's like A, B, C, D, and they mapped it to where I think Y is A and B is B, and then X is C and A is D or something like that. I don't know if that's the same for
even starting the game, you gotta
you gotta use like a ZR to start, and you gotta use L to insert coins.
Yeah, and then I hope they release some patch or somewhere you could change the button configuration.
It's weird, because then when you lose to continue, you got to hit R, but in the beginning of the game to start, you have to hit ZR. So it's like, it's very confusing. I was having a little trouble getting used to it, but I will say something happened that I did not expect, and I switched to the Joy-Cons in the grip when my buddy came over. I was having way more success pulling off moves with the split D-pad with the directional buttons than I was with the D-pad. I kept jumping when I was trying to just go left or right. And I have zero problem with the directional buttons for that fighting game in particular. I was doing the moves like the Street Fighter like maneuvers. I was finding way more success with the directional buttons over the Pro Controller's D-pad, which is crazy.
I'm glad you said that, because I had a similar experience. I won't say I'm able to pull it off any better, but I'll say it's not any worse than using the Pro Controller. I thought the split between the D-pad on the I guess the left, that'd be the left Joy-Con, was going to be a problem. No, I could pull all the juggles off just as easy as I could pull it off on a Pro Controller. So it hasn't been an issue for me. So, but I got to thinking about it. The PlayStation 3 controller was split like that. Mm-hmm. So actually, I think we sometimes like to create controversy or what I call fake outrage, just to have fake outrage. So,
and I mean, I'm almost thinking even for a 2D platformer, I don't see it really being an issue from my experience so far. So I know it was one of those things. The Switch wasn't out yet, so people were looking for something to complain about. I even said that I think I was a little upset I didn't have a D-pad, but now that I'm using it, I think it works for that fighting game in particular. I think for Street Fighter, it's gonna be fine. My buddy was actually switched to the analog stick on the Pro Controller instead of the D-pad because he wasn't able to pull off the maneuvers as good as he was thinking he should, and it was crazy. But
well, the Pro Controllers, the buttons are bigger than normal. And my fear was not necessarily the D-pad on the Joy-Con, but the actual size of the buttons.
Yeah.
But on the right, to me, I was kind of nervous that was going to be too small, and kind of my fingers are not that small, so I thought I was going to be pushing, 2 buttons at the same time, and it's not an issue, so I can't complain.
No, yeah, I think going to the Pro Controller at first, I was like, man, these buttons are huge. But I can go back and forth now to playing in portable or with the Pro Controller. I don't even think about the button size until you just said something. I actually forgot that they were actually a different size. So I just think once you get used to a system, just like the PS4 controllers, quite a bit different than what I hadn't really played on PS3 much in years. So when I got my PS4, it took me a day or two to get used to the different controller feel and the analog stick being down. And once you get used to it, I can go to Xbox One controller, PS4 to Switch without really even batting an eye now. So
I was say the Switch transition was easy for me because the Joy-Con buttons are the same size as the 3DS buttons. So like it's to me it's like, oh, I'm playing on the 3DS again with the buttons. So it wasn't a big deal for me.
For me, but I'm me, y'all know I'm not the handheld guy. So,
yeah, I know.
I was scared out. My mom was like, "Oh man, Nintendo, y'all gonna make a brother had to learn how to use these small." But actually, man, it ain't that bad at all. To be honest with you, I can go between the Joy-Cons and the grip and the Pro. I prefer the Pro Controller, especially for a game like Zelda, which I'm pretty sure we're gonna get into tonight. But games like Snake Pass or Fast Racing, Fast RMX or something like the Samurai Showdown, I can use the Pro Controller, not the Pro Controller, but the Joy-Con grip setup just as easy. The problem I have is when I take it out the grip, when I have them in my left and right, I haven't learned, because I want to do the Wiimote and nunchuck, and it's a lot different. I tried that the other day. I was like, nah, man.
That's my number 2. That's my
second.
That's actually pretty equal to the Pro Controller, except for games where you got to move the camera around a lot.
Yeah.
But for like fast, I don't even use the grip anymore for any game.
Yeah, I was like, the grip is my least favorite of the 3 ways.
I think I'm going to have to say it the other way because I haven't done just the Joy-Cons in right and left hand. And when I finally started trying to play like that, it was really because my Pro Controller had died and I didn't want to play in the grip mode. So I was like, let me play it like this on Zelda. No, it was not working.
It took me a first time I played for an hour that way, and I was like, nah, I'm going to put it in the grip. And then I got my Pro Controller the next day. But when I'm at work and I'm in tabletop mode, because of where I'm sitting, like it's not comfortable playing portable, so I put it in tabletop mode and I put my hands under the bench or bar. It's kind of like a high bar like situation in the kitchen. So then I put my hands on my knees and I got the split Joy-Cons, and after I probably got about 5-6 hours like that, and it's second nature. Like the aiming, I just aim with the right hand only. I don't even move the left hand, and when I'm using the bow, and it feels natural. Like I was skeptical. Robert, he was all about it, and I was like, no, I don't like it. And then now I'm like, that's my number 2 right behind the Pro Controller.
Yeah, you gotta remember. I think the one thing people gotta remember is that with the Joy-Con separate, you're not tethered by anything, but your mind thinks you are. It's like, wait, no way I can have my arms just spread out like this and still play the game. My left hand is fine because that's just like the
the nunchuck.
Yeah.
It's my right hand that's not used to the size of the right Joy-Con versus what the Wiimote did for me. And so I'm trying to grip the beat. Is it the Z button? I'm trying to hold it and all that. I'm like, man, this ain't okay. No, I can't hold it like that because I got an analog stick right here and I got the buttons. It's like, oh, I got to get used to this. So it took me a while to adjust to it. I finally did, but by that time my Pro Controller was charged up. So I was like, let me just jump back on that.
Yeah, what I do is I don't even barely hold in my right hand. So my pointer finger, actually, let me turn my camera on here.
And that was another thing. I was trying to point at everything, man.
You realize you don't gotta do that.
So I like hold it kind of like this, where it's kicked out this way. I'm not like
you had to hold it like sideways a little bit.
I kind of just hold it out, and now that I'm used to it,
okay,
like I could see somebody was trying, someone trying to hold it like this. It's a problem.
Yeah,
but
that's me.
You put it out. And these rubber grips, I'll tell you what, man, that's worth $7. You get that little extra.
I'm about to say, I'm debating on buying some grips from him.
Actually, I saw those. I think it was John Shaw had it up on his channel where he kind of demoed them, or well, I don't know what you call it. Demo.
Well, look at it. I mean, it looks pretty close. Other than you can see the gray right there.
Okay.
It looks pretty close to the neon switch. And I mean, I think I paid like maybe $8 or something. And
you got them offline?
Yeah, I got a link in my last Juice Opinions. I put a link to them, and I really like them, especially portable mode. The only thing is, if you put the controllers in the grip, then you have to take those off. But it literally takes 5 seconds to get them on. Like they slip right on. So it's
but I'm not gonna put mine in the grip. I think I'm done with that style.
Yeah, the grip for me, it's been collecting dust. But anyway, let's move on here. I gotta give a little bit of props, I guess. Maybe that's not the word, but we were ragging on Warner Brothers the last few podcasts for the Lego City Undercover. But now that the game's out and there's been, a little more in-depth comparison, my first comparison I saw, just an amateur did of the Wii U versus Switch. I didn't see a visual difference, but they must have just had some bad capture equipment, because other than the price, they still don't get any slack. 5-year-old game, 4-year-old game, whatever, that's $10 more than when it launched, and $40 more than the current Wii U version. I can't give them a pass on that, and I won't buy it for that price. But I gotta say, the port seems to be very solid and very comparable to the PS4, Xbox One, which is what I kind of want to talk about. It's a good sign, whether you care about this game or not. You can't deny that it's a very comparable with the parity, other than the interior gameplay on PS4 and Xbox One is 60 frames per second. The rest of the game is, they're almost indistinguishable except for a few minor effects. So I just like to see that. I like to know that, hey, the Switch version got a solid effort and it's very comparable to the competition. So what do you guys level? I don't know if you saw Digital Foundry's little breakdown.
When was that? Today or a few days ago?
No, it was last week, like Thursday, I think. Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah, it was
the last breakdown I saw, the comparison that they did with Snake Pass. I didn't see the one for.
They did one a few days after. So basically, the Switch version's 1080p native, which a lot of people said it was going to be 720. The lighting improvements, all the effects, all the bells and whistles are there. The PS4 version just has like better shadows, basically. That was one of the biggest differences, and a little bit more of the depth of field. But the Switch version actually loaded in some assets quicker, like this fence texture for this. What do you call that? Not the picket fence, but the chain link fence would actually pop up quicker on the Switch version, and the frame rate barely dipped. I mean, what was it, like maybe down to 27, 28 at times?
Yeah, but it's mainly locked.
Yeah, and
so it's locked at 30, and the other two are locked at 60.
Except for the outdoor sections where you're driving around, it's 30 across the board. All systems.
Yeah.
There's But yeah, anyway, go ahead. I just think it looks the parity of all three systems are very close overall.
Yeah, overall.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, the only thing I would be worried about with Lego City would be the load times because
I was gonna bring that up. Apparently, I found out if you buy the cartridge, the load times are pretty trash.
But it's still better than PS4. It's still quicker than PS4.
No, but I think I shared it around that same day. If you download the digital version to your console, the load times are vastly improved. Like it shaves off, like I think one of the load times is like 50 seconds. It shaves off like a good 30 or 20 seconds off of it.
And when you do that, you get an instant message saying, "Use a damn fool."
I wonder if you could buy the cartridge and install the game? Like that would be because then you could get the discount of buying physical.
Not from the cartridge, you can't.
Yeah, I doubt that.
Yeah, I didn't know because on the that box did say, even the physical box said, even though they said that was an error, maybe that was something to do with the 13 gigs or whatever that was.
That was a weirdly specific error. That was my issue with it.
Talk about defeating the purpose of a cartridge.
Did they ever explain how they were able to get it down to that size? Looking back at the Wii U was much bigger than that.
No, they didn't say, and Digital Foundry didn't comment on that. They didn't really talk about the file sizes either.
Yeah, because the file size on the download version is like what, 7-something gigs.
They gotta be. Nintendo must have showed them how to compress all that or something.
It does suck that the cartridge. I mean, it's faster than PS4, Xbox One loading times, but it sucks that the cartridge wasn't quicker. Well,
I mean, that was the thing when they were doing the test to see what micro SD cards that use on the Switch, and it seemed like the actual just having it downloaded to the main system memory was faster than any of them.
System memory is definitely the fastest. Because what is the read speed of that? It's pretty quick. It's like
it's insane,
400 megabytes per second or something. And
remember, I got Zelda downloaded, so like I think I have like a 2 or 3 second improvement over you guys. But I mean, Zelda
there were some areas where I think it was like 5 seconds, wasn't it?
It might. I think it depends on the area, but
I mean, you're talking from 30 seconds down to 26 or something. So I mean, it
was already quick to begin with.
But the percentage wise is pretty good. T, welcome. And other than the ridiculous price point of Lego City, I was talking about how overall, though, when the comparison to the PS4 and Xbox One, the Switch held up very well from all aspects, and it really is more of a visual improvement than I initially thought over the Wii U. Once I saw like the full comparison, and Digital Foundry just has the best capture. They have out of anyone I've ever seen on YouTube, they seem to have the best footage captured from any game. So we're basically seeing that. I was just happy to say, hey, this game didn't get like the shittiest version. Like it's definitely comparable. So that for this game plus, what does this mean for future third-party games? If now with Snake Pass and Lego City both are very comparable, the Switch version to the competition.
Well, I don't know if this is any kind of referendum because, first of all, this is a Wii U game. So it's hard to gauge based on that. And again, Snake Pass is probably the better gauge because, the whole Unreal Engine 4 thing, that would probably be a better way to determine.
But the fact that Lego's just a custom game engine and they were still able to take advantage of the Switch's better architecture too.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying I'm not really surprised by that because we've all heard over and over again how easy it is to program for Switch and how easy it is to port to it. So I'm just saying a Lego game that was on Wii U, it's hard to gauge.
That's a good point.
If we can find a different game and we can see that kind of let's say a game that's more graphically intense, maybe that wasn't on a Nintendo console at first.
That's good. It'd be interesting to see the first like quote unquote realistic art style when it's a multi-plat. Like let's say Call of Duty comes to the Switch. I think that would be interesting to see what the Switch can do with that. A little bit. I mean,
you got FIFA, you have NBA 2K18, so those would be games you could look at too.
And I don't know of any like racing sims or anything coming announced or anything for the Switch, but
I'm thirsty, man. That's what I'm been looking to see, hoping we'd have a few. I mean, we got
Project
like
Cars 2.
yeah. Well,
Oh God,
I would probably give in a Project Cars because I'm so thirsty for like a racing game on.
you weak,
Switch.
T.
I know, man. I know. After all, I got videos, so yeah, I can be exposed on that one. But I just want, I want a simulation racing, not so much simulation, just a realistic car racing game. We don't have that yet. We have futuristic, F-Zero types, and we have obviously Mario Kart, but we need something like that for the Switch.
All right. So Terrell, you got any thoughts on this? This two good ports now, or two good, Switch versions of games.
I mean, it's better than the Wii U situation where like we had issues up the ass for almost every game, and the best examples of Wii U ports we had was what Need for Speed and
Deus Ex probably, but that even Deus Ex had the gamepad uses, but then under closer inspection, like the 360 version was way better looking at times, which was
like I think it's a better sign than the other game, especially considering I think Snake Pass was like ported relatively quickly. Like it was like what? It wasn't that long.
I think it was
a couple weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm more impressed with the turnover rate. You decided to port to Switch, and it took you less than a month to get the game working on as good of a level as this. I mean, granted, I think it's missing like what the time attack mode and on the Switch version, I believe, or something.
They said that stuff was coming though, right? They said
they're gonna patch that in. But the point is, you got the main game running in a really competent level
2 weeks
pretty quickly. Yeah, it was like 3 weeks.
Like 3 weeks, I think. Yeah. I mean, they got it running in like a week.
They got it running in a week, and I think they got to optimize it a week later. So it was really
so
that to me that says way more, because it's like, man, that means and that's an Unreal Engine 4 game. So it's
and it's a complicated game too because of the physics of the snake and all that stuff.
Yeah, there's definitely. I mean, I've watching the comparison, seeing like when I play the game, I don't notice that ripple effect in the water not being there, but that they had to remove that to get this, little things like that. But overall.
Yeah, that's tiny.
I wondered, did they have to remove it, or did they not have enough time?
That's another thing.
Trying to get parity and get it out at the exact same time.
Right.
Just forfeit that, because they say the PlayStation 4 base model has no strings to run that game as well. So
which is surprising to me.
And if I yell, I'm watching my Cavaliers, so I'm just letting y'all know.
Well, at least you warned us. I appreciate the warning, man.
So I think that was more. Had they had more time to optimize it, they probably could have got all that's on the PlayStation 4 base model and Xbox One OG. The Xbox One, I mean, I'm pretty sure they could have did it on the Switch as well. I choose because I don't think, because I heard that it's not even on the Xbox version either. The ripple effect in the water.
Yeah, that was missing from the
that's true.
I think.
Yeah.
And I think the Pro has 60 frames per second, and
only the Pro.
But
I think
you got to have a pretty
mode or not.
You got to have a pretty good graphics card apparently to have it run at 60 on a PC.
Yeah,
it does. I mean, once I saw footage of the PC version, I was like, yeah, it does look. I mean, it's noticeably better. And Level, were you the one that said you didn't think it looked good in portable? Or no, that was Sean Long.
No, I thought it looked good.
He was on.
Yeah, I thought portable. I was just playing it in portable. I was like, man, this. I don't know what he was saying, and I think even Keith from your podcast was in the chat a couple weeks ago here, and he said he thinks it looks terrible in portable mode too. And I'm like, I don't know how there could be a difference between two different. People.
Usually it's the opposite.
That's weird.
Either it looks bad or it looks good. I mean, there shouldn't be any denying, but I don't know. It's crazy. Yeah. But so how many games?
I haven't noticed any issues with it, but
so to the we're all Nintendo fans here, and we all went through the Wii U generation. So how many more games do you need to come out where the Switch version's parity is really good, or it's really a close to the competition before you'll stop worrying about, is this game going to be gimped? Is this game going to be bad? What do you think?
I say we'll probably know that by fall.
Yeah.
because I'm sure there's a bunch of, I don't want to say a bunch, but I'm sure there's a few multi-plats out there that haven't been announced for Switch yet. And we'll have that. And like I said, we'll have FIFA and we'll have.
But I'm talking about when they come
PSVR.
out and they're actually like, hey, this is a solid version. I'm just wondering how many games beyond what the two we have already, where you'd be like, all right, I don't have to worry about this BS anymore.
Well, I'm already there, but the thing is, a lot of people ain't there.
Yeah, I'm not there yet.
The thing is like, it's like that Aaliyah song, back and forth. These two games came out, and they made this question. And then these two games come out and was like, oh, this looks like they're going to be pretty close. And the next two games will come out and be back to questioning.
Mm-hmm.
This is a Nintendo console here. So that's just how it's going to be.
Yeah, I think we need to make it through 2017 without any like significant amounts of games that are just like totally gimped or totally crappy on the Switch before I'll be like at ease, I guess.
So I'll try to understand the question so I can best answer.
All right, so we got Snake Pass and Lego City for everything we see. It's pretty equal. When are you going to feel comfortable in thinking that you don't have to worry about third-party games being gimped on the Switch like they were on the Wii U? Like, how many more games do you need before you feel comfortable putting trust?
I guess I had to see what they do at E3. I'm more like Mr. T. Right now, I'm not really concerned about whether a third party game is gimped or not. But like when we start seeing more of those games that folks will say you gotta have and that type of stuff, depending on how with this whole supposed 20 Unreal Engine 4 games coming, like supposed 20 something in development. Once we see what those games are and how those games compare to the counterpart on the other platforms, I would say, long as if it continues to do the trend that it's doing now, I'm fine. I don't need that. That's all I would need to see.
Yeah, I mean, I think
I'm not gonna buy every third-party platform anyway.
What do you mean by parity? You mean like price-wise? You mean like
just like
certain features ain't in the game?
I mean, I guess the price would be part of it, but just that it has the features and it's comparable, like as far as performance, and it's not like 15 frames per second where it's dropping, like where they actually have a solid port and it's a good game and you don't have to worry about buying the Switch version.
Well, you know what make a big step forward in a really small way? If those third-party games get announced and there's a Switch logo at the end of the trailer.
Yeah,
at this point, that would be a huge deal because let's be real, the Wii U I don't think ever got that, like at all. I can't think of a third-party game that happened to be on the console that they got a logo for. So if we get a fucking logo at the same time, I'm already like, well, shit. Throw my hands up. We're good. I think we're good. But,
Well,
I think it's like this. I think people know what the Switch is. They know it's not super powerful, but they'll take that because of what it brings, being able to take that game on the go. So they'll take the, they'll what's the word I'm looking for?
The compromise.
They'll take the compromise. Thank you. They'll take that compromise from not having maybe all the bells and whistles of the other consoles, but hey, I can take this game with me. What can you do? You stuck at home to your TV.
I'm playing on launch, and Terrell's not playing Persona 5 on launch. He's
I'm not super tech savvy, but isn't it the case that when they port games to the Switch, they're actually porting it from the PC version?
Yeah, well, I don't know if that's the case.
I heard it's easier for them.
That's the best way they should do it.
I heard it's easier to go from the PC to the Switch than from, I guess, the PlayStation.
Yeah, because well, I mean, PS4 they all use the same code system. The X8.
Yeah, but I think the Switch has more modern architecture.
Yeah, that's what I was going with it.
Yeah. They build the game on PC anyway.
What I think, I think because of the ease of going, because they already creating it on PC anyway, they can take the original instead of what they do for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. They could take what they just built and take it straight to the Switch with ease. I think we're going to see less issues than what we saw with the Wii U. Like the transition when they ported, I think we're going to see more like Snake Pass for the most part. That'll be our consistent situation. That's what I believe. So
and like we were talking about, once like NBA comes out, games with a less artistic, cartoony art style, we'll see what the trade-off's going to really be like. Is it going to be just a slightly lower resolution, or maybe a little less consistent frame rate, or some effects, or is it going to be like significant drop in some way? What was that dinger?
I know that shit sounded like it came in perfectly.
Oh, that was my phone. Sorry about that.
I thought he was waiting for a sound effect to come out of nowhere.
So we'll see what once let's just use Battlefront 2 because it was in the chat. I don't think that game's coming, but let's say a game like that, we'll see what if they make a Switch version of something like that, what the trade-off. I think the discrepancy between the Switch and PS4 and Xbox One versions might be a little bit greater in that situation, just because of their focus on realistic visuals and stuff. We'll have to wait and see what the Switch can do with games like that in the future. So let's see. I got another topic I want to hit. No, let's just get into the Direct. Although you had a podcast already leveled right after the Direct, but we'll still get your take here on the Juices Loose. So let's just talk about, first and foremost, the new format, which I really wasn't expecting. I don't know that anybody really was, but it was a pleasant surprise. So we'll go to Terrell first, since I haven't heard I think I didn't watch your reaction video yet. So let's get your take on the new format specifically.
The format was like super quick, and they were just like, we're just gonna hammer out some points, we're gonna blaze through all this stuff, and we're done. And I think that might work for future directs. Like, whatever 2 new main big games, primarily Switch games coming out, have those be the focus, and then just shoot out all this little small stuff in the background, because it makes it feel like you have a lot, and it also makes it feel like it's paced properly. So it's not like, it doesn't feel like it's dragging. It feels like you're getting a lot of information really quickly, but you're not hanging on it too long. Mm-hmm. So I appreciate the quick pace and the focus on the Switch games. So if they wanted to keep doing that moving forward, that'd be perfectly fine with me.
What about seeing what was coming in advance?
See, that kind of, that works because they still do the question marks.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll give you like a hint. So it's almost like a game in itself, where you're like trying to guess what does that hint mean, but you only get like a few seconds because it's coming up quicker in the chat. So it has its own little appeal. I do kind of miss the whole just going to a black screen and then all of a sudden you see a developer's name and you see a trailer pop out. You're like, oh shit! But I think it still works.
All right, leveled. Let me ask you this: on top of what you thought of the new format, when you watched the Direct, did it feel like 36 minutes to you, or did it feel quicker?
No, it didn't. It felt quicker. And
that's exactly how I felt. I thought it felt like a 15-minute Direct.
Yeah, that's where I was about to go. I like the new format, the whole headlines or headers or whatever. I forgot what they called it, but I liked it. But I wish they would have spent more time on certain titles. And like you said, Terminator, it felt like they was, and Terrell said it too. It seemed like they were just streamlining through it. Like it was just zoop, 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 zoop. And by the time it gains your attention on one title, they're already off of that to the next title. And while I do like this format for like smaller directs, I would still like them to maintain some of the bigger scale direct styles, how they used to do it. Like the one they did back in the day when they showed Xenoblade Chronicles X for the first time. I like that way as well, when they showed Bayonetta 2 for the first time and kind of showed that on the designer's floor, the developer's still working on it, the drawings and all that. So I hope they balance it out with, sometimes it's like what it was this past time, when it's just a lot of stuff they just want to kind of shoot out at you real quick. And then I hope for more detail they go to how they did Smash Brothers that year and things like that.
They could still do game specific directs maybe.
Yeah. So yeah, it was cool though. It was cool.
All right, T, I was just listening to the live reaction on the AGL, which was pretty awesome. Good live reaction. So I know kind of what you thought of it, but why don't you tell us here your thoughts on the format?
I loved it. I thought it was awesome. I don't know if they can do that every time because there was so many games in this thing. Obviously, I don't know if they'll have this many games coming out. If they do, man, goodness gracious, every time they have a direct. But yeah, they can obviously still do game-specific directs, and I'm sure they will. People think there's like a rule to the directs, and I don't. It's like they have to do this, and this, and that. It's like I'm gonna stop listening to people's reactions to certain like bigger sites. I'll say I'll still listen to every us in this community, but like bigger sites, because it's just like I don't know what they expect. Like
they want E3 every time.
Huh?
You think they want E3 every time?
Or they don't. It's like I felt like this was a mini E3 because there was so many games in there. And so then you'll have people complaining, oh, it was too fast. They gave us way too much. And I'm like, that was awesome because it was a surprise. I was only expecting, maybe 3 or 4 games for the Switch. And, and I didn't expect that much for the 3DS even. And it was a pleasant surprise for me. I thought it was awesome. And then I liked the way because it was like Christmas. It was like you could see what was coming, but sometimes you know what the game was, or maybe it's not. It'll be a phrase, like something like 25th anniversary for Kirby. So it didn't tell you what the game was, but it was just like, oh, what's that about? So I was like getting excited every time. I thought it was cool. I thought that was just a great way to do it.
I didn't know Payday 2 was coming, even though they kind of
all right. I didn't know what that was, like, especially if you didn't expect that game. Nobody expected Payday 2. So I just thought it was like mini Christmases. Every little would bring up a thing. It was like, oh, this is gonna be, what's that? That's crazy. Because we were, me and Robert especially were looking forward to what was coming up, and it was just like fun. I thought that was cool, and you still got the charm. I feel like you still got that Nintendo Direct charm. But this was also more kind of business like. Let's knock these out, and this is what kills me, because it's like, to me it felt like they listened to us. It was like, oh, they spent too much time on 3DS. That's all we heard for our generation.
Yeah,
and
you heard
it was
me
like, all right,
yeah, levels
said that. Yeah,
it was like boom, 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 boom.
Every time I got a chance, I was gonna say it. I was sick.
Right, what I'm saying, yeah. But people, they went through them. They knocked 3DS out of there.
Yeah,
and like that. And people were still complaining. It was like, oh, I wanted it. I heard like IGN specifically, the Nintendo voice chat, complaining, saying, oh, they should have just gave us this in a press release. Excuse me, this ain't just about you. This is about the gamers. Also,
well, IGN has a totally different perspective on it.
I know, that's what was killing me. It's like, I'm gonna stop listening to that.
Because they think it's their job to tell us that's
right,
that info.
Exactly. And
I know when it came on, I thought I was watching like a pre-show before the direct. I thought I was like, okay, this is cool. They got a pre-show for the actual direct, and then I figured out like, wait a minute, this is the direct.
This is the direct.
Because I turned on a little, like I got in like maybe 5-6 minutes late, so
yeah,
it was already starting. I was like, oh, this must be a pre-show. How they got the bulletins and the headers and all that. I was like, oh, this is cool. They kind of doing a lineup before they actually had a. I was like, oh, this is the direct. I mean, that's pretty cool.
I mean, what did they say? What did they say beforehand that it was going to be about? It was going to be
Arms and Splatoon.
Arms and Splatoon and 3DS. They're going to, and that's all you had. So I was going in with, I guess, lowered expectation, because that's all I thought I was going to get, and I think that was by design. They just started slamming us with games. I'm like, what? This is crazy. Yeah. So I thought
Samurai
it was cool.
Showdown will be out today
or
tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, it was. Did they cover any Mario Kart 8? I'm trying to remember. I think briefly they
did.
It was briefly.
Yeah, barely.
So I'm gonna give my take, because I haven't talked about the direct yet, since it. I don't know. I didn't talk about it in my Juice Opinions for some reason, but I absolutely love the new format. I didn't read ahead. Like, I saw that there was a list of what's coming, and I didn't scroll down with my eyes. I didn't really want to know what was coming, but Koizumi, that's his name, right?
Yeah, Koizumi. Yeah.
I like him being the face of
the
Switch. Like, it's almost like Nintendo picked, a dude, and is like, we're gonna put the Switch on your back. If it's a success or a failure, you're gonna take the credit or the blame. It's almost how it feels, but obviously it's been good so far. And he's just charismatic. He doesn't speak English, but I would prefer. I prefer the voiceover if he's not, like, if he's worse than Iwata, then definitely rather have the voiceover, the dub.
Seriously.
But I like him being the face of the Switch, and I really love the format. It felt like I said, 15-minute direct, and it was like 30 some minutes, and I liked everything. They gave release dates. I don't think they would have gave the release date to Splatoon 2 in the past. They gave that, and a lot of stuff, coming in May, and I just thought it was all good information, and nothing felt like it dragged too long, and I wouldn't feel like I need to skip anything, because I was watching it on the replay because I didn't get home till like 6:30, so I didn't skip a single thing, and that's rare for me. I usually skip over the 3DS stuff, but it was happening so fast, and I like the format, so all good stuff there.
3DS got some good games coming. It's like all we kept saying was, "Damn, I wish that was on the Switch."
Yeah. That Hey Pikmin. I mean, yeah, it looks cool. I said I wasn't gonna buy any more 3DS games. We'll see. We'll see.
Well, they got me fucked up with that Monster Hunter Stories release, man.
Right.
I was
that's at the end of the year, ain't it? Like holiday or something?
It's like fall.
Yeah. I mean, that looks good, but that should be on Switch.
Listen, man, I was just happy it got localized because the longest they didn't even talk about that game. It was just
didn't know if it was even coming.
Yeah, it's like, here's Monster Hunter XX. I'm like, what? Hey, bro, you got Monster Hunter Stories back there. We gonna see that? Shh, don't worry.
Have to do another Operation Rainfall for that game.
Hey, we ain't back. We'll start point. They've been localizing a lot, man. I appreciate that shit.
That looks like what a Breath of the Wild art style on a 3DS. Like it's impressive.
Yeah, it's the more Pokemon type of Monster Hunter game. That's the way a lot of people have been describing it.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, let's talk about ARMS then. Well, that's one of the main titles, and I guess I'll start. My excitement for ARMS was never like that high. I guess I was interested, and after the direct, it definitely increased my excitement seeing the 2-on-2 mode, and obviously after the fact they had the little. Someone pointed out that there was like 4 characters kind of in the background, 4 new characters. So my excitement has gone up, but I'm still not like. I would say it's like at a 7.5 maybe. So just first, what would you, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you put your excitement for ARMS if you want to do before the direct and after, or just what it is right now? Terrell, you were saying you're pretty excited off air. So what's your, if you had to number it, what would you put your excitement for ARMS?
I'd probably, just off of the battle mechanics, I want to put it at an 8. I want to see those characters, but it's at an 8, hovering towards a 9, depending on how those characters play.
All right, what about you, T?
Yeah, my excitement before was probably at 7.5. I was more excited because it was confirming that the Switch was going to have motion controls still. Mm-hmm. So I was really excited about that. It wasn't so much about the game, but I saw the potential there, and I was like, and then I saw them putting in the different, arms, if you will, the different hands that you can use, and that strategy there. And then they seem to want to make this a kind of a tournament type of game. They've been kind of pushing it for that, and I was like, oh, this is something they're really going to go into. And then when they showed the 2-on-2, I was like, Power Stone, man. I was like, yep, 8.5 right now.
All right, what about you, Level?
I'm gonna say about a 7.5. I think we talked about this on the Live and Level Gamers podcast. ARMS like one of those games that you just can't watch somebody else play it and get the gist of it.
That's true.
Yeah, I feel like that you gotta play it to really understand the fun factor of it. So watching it, I would say about a 7. The ideal of playing it and what I believe I'm going to get out of the experience, I say about an 8.5, somewhere around there.
Yeah, and I think you said they should get a demo out.
Yeah, I feel like they should put this like Splatoon. They should have a demo, like a test fire or something, to where you get to try it out and learn the mechanics and all that. I think more people will get wise fun, because watching, especially on 1 versus 1, I think the 2 versus 2 commotion made it more exciting because it was so much action. But 1 versus 1, it kind of, I don't know. It could be like, okay, it looks cool, but I want to play it rather than watch somebody.
Yeah,
play.
you rather play. You rather be the one in the action.
That's the whole Smash Brothers versus Mario Kart and Splatoon effect. When Splatoon was in its prime, I had a lobby we do a friends lobby or whatever. Everyone just join, and we got 8 people, and we got 3-4 people wanting to join. And then we're like, well, I want to play Smash. Well, now you just took those 12 people. Now you can only have 4 playing at a time. And I was like, so Arms is going to go on to 1-on-1? Like, that's even taking it to a level where I'm just like, I don't know. Like, that's not fun to me. But depending on how the voice chat and everything works, it'd be interesting to see how they handle. Let's say a group of friends could be chatting, you're all in the game, and then you could take turn. Maybe the game would let you.
You mean like a tournament mode?
Almost like a tournament mode or something. I don't know if that's going to be in there, but that would really go a long way for me.
There you go, Kyrie. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot.
I thought he was really excited about the tournament mode.
Yeah.
My bad, bro.
So if it's just 1-on-1 and that 2-on-2, then my level is probably still going to be around a 7 at this point for excitement for the game. But the potential's there, and I'm just like any other fighting game, it's the multiplayer that gives it longevity. And I don't know, for me, like, just if it was just the 1-on-1, that was looking like it was going to get boring real quick. So the 2-on-2 was a big help. I guess I'd put my number around 8, I guess, overall, and interested to see more, and I definitely want to try it. So a demo would be, if they're confident in it, they should put a demo out, because I think that would help.
Maybe that's the case now with the multiplayer giving it longevity, but that was not the case for me as a fighting, gamer back in the day, because you buy the game, and if somebody's at the house that can play with you, fine. But I just try to master every character. That's what I do. I just play it. I try to master all the characters, and I just keep increasing the difficulty, for the AI, for the CPU, so CPU component. So
yeah, I'm the opposite. I never played. My fighters would collect dust until some people came over, then we'd play.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah. I mean, once you go through it in the first couple of weeks, I would play. But like my Street Fighter 2 Turbo and Mortal Kombat 2 on the Super NES, I mean, 90% of that was when friends were over. So that's why for me, Arms is like, I was worried about once if no one's available, then I'm sitting here playing against the CPU or something, then it didn't sound that exciting. So any thoughts on the new character? I mean, she's got the one arm that looks specific to that character. I don't know if that's true.
No, well, you mean the dragon?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm actually curious if that arm can be used on other characters.
And what was her like special move that everyone has kind of a special?
Oh, she can kick.
Yep, she was kicking. So
she can dodge. Well, it's more like block kicking. Like if you attack her in midair, she can actually kick down which is actually very important, because I was looking at there was like an invitation on Japan for it, and a few pro fighting game players were playing it, and somebody posted their first impressions. One of the tournament players, he's like a Smash Bros. Pro. He mentioned how like,
oh, you're breaking up.
Robo
son of a bitch. I was gonna say, one of the cool things is that because you can't dodge in midair, it's very important that when you jump, you plan that stuff wisely. So a character who can block in midair is actually very good, purely for that reason. Also, fucking love her design. She is adorable. I love it.
Don't forget about the dragon arm that shoots a laser beam.
Mm-hmm. That looks like it'd be easier to dodge. I don't know.
Well, yeah, because it has startup.
Yeah.
And apparently, according to Visor Grunt, Min Min porn has already arrived.
Oh my goodness!
Wait.
Oh my god!
But
wait a minute.
See, I don't know.
Where is this fucking link? I want links, man.
So far, the arms.
Oh, I don't believe him.
I don't get it with because their arms they're springs. So I don't know.
They're not even
into that stuff.
They're not humanoid enough.
They're not humanoid enough.
They look enough like real women for me. But interesting. And well, I guess what does it come out June 16th, which I predicted actually.
Yeah, it's my birthday, man.
She's got ramen arms, man.
Yeah. But what do you
shit out of those arms, bro?
What do you think about the release date? Is that still
wow? That's so nasty.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Is June 16th still spring to you guys?
Apparently it is.
According to
One
It's
summer
technically-
climate
officially.
in the colleges.
It's yeah, I would say technically it is. I
I
think.
thought
Okay.
for sure summer started in late May, but
But here's the
apparently
thing.
not.
Now that we know the date, think about it logically. Mario Kart 8, April 28th. Like there was, and then Street Fighter May 26th. Like to me, it just makes sense that would be a June title. I mean, because what were they going to give Mario Kart like 2 weeks to breathe? I mean,
Yeah, that wouldn't even make any sense.
For
Mario Kart, it would make sense that
Street
Street Fighter
Fighter?
right next to
well, I'm
it.
just saying since
because I'm like, those are two very different games.
Yeah, but Street
I'm
Fighter
talking
come out to the end of May.
I'm
though.
talking more about the Mario Kart 8 being April 28th. Like to me, now that I know ARMS is middle of June, it just makes sense that they give Mario Kart some.
Which
Oh,
then
yeah,
also
solid
explains
month.
Splatoon 2's release date.
Because they haven't already sold 10 billion copies of that game.
I know, but
They need more money, T.
Yeah. Mhm.
It's for the
So,
online service.
that's a good point. I was just going to bring up. Do you think maybe the app might be ready for ARMS?
Maybe.
They got to do something soon, man. They at least got to talk about
Yeah,
it.
but I think
I
Mario
know.
Kart 8 comes out like next Friday, and that's an online game. So does that mean we're only gonna have voice chat in the lobbies for?
I don't think there'll be any because it doesn't.
Voice chat.
You had the mic and the gamepad, so I think that there won't be anything.
You want
Mario
voice
Kart.
chat? You do what we're doing right now.
You gonna make me compromise?
But
You
Yeah,
think I
Mario
don't think I got
Kart
time to go here?
If there was any disappointment with the direct, that was mine. That the fact that they didn't explain anything on that, but I mean,
mhm.
it seemed like they should be talking about it at some point. I hope they
I
don't
think
wait
they
till
might be saving that for Splatoon, like straight up blowout direct or E3 or something.
Yeah, it depends on when it's going
It
to
might
launch.
be a little
I mean.
too early to go into that stuff now because obviously.
And do you think they're still like fleshing out the details? Is why they haven't told us? That's
I
kind
hope
of my
not.
theory.
It might be.
I think
hope not.
I think they're working on. I don't know. I think they know what they want
Probably
to
saw the
do,
backlash.
but I don't think they wanted to settle in on any specific features and leave it more where they gave themselves some room to change or make some decisions after the fact, like after the reveal on January 12th. I don't know. I'd hope they had a solid idea, but to me, I'm hoping that they're listening to feedback and maybe it's already has changed from what their initial plan was. So we'll see. We'll find out when that stuff gets announced eventually. What about the new Joy-Con color? Thoughts on the color and the fact Nintendo's going to try to milk us for all these $80 Joy-Cons in different colors?
Well, they're $40 technically.
Yeah, well,
But, I mean, are you surprised? Did you
Yeah,
not
but
see-
that's not really surprising.
Did you not
to
see this
me.
coming already?
I wasn't expecting it this early.
I guess it's a little early. I was expecting maybe by
It's
fall.
not as I thought it would be. They'll do it for like every new game, every new
Probably.
major game. They'll probably Splatoon. They'll probably like splat covered Joy-Cons in July.
Well, yeah, I thought maybe by the time Splatoon came out, we'd see some specific Joy-Con colors and stuff. But
It's all put their hand in your wallet, son.
yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised that it's happening. It's just maybe it's a little sooner than I expected. But
come on.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a little bit of a, because I don't.
he doesn't like Joy-Con colors either, man.
But no, can I ask a question?
Yeah,
Was y'all shocked that the neon colors took off like they are?
I was not when they first
Nope.
announced it. I was like, "That's stupid," but I just
Yeah.
showed you. Now I have
Nope.
the gel
Mhm.
covers that make it look like the neon because it looks. I gotta say, after seeing all the hands-on previews before the Switch came out, all the YouTubers they all got the neon, and now I was so envious. I tried to switch mine at Best Buy when I picked mine up.
Right.
Okay.
Like I remember when the GameCube came out, and I was like, man, I gotta get a black one. I do
Mhm.
not want this purple console. So when the Switch came out, I was like, I gotta get a full black one. And then I started seeing how the neons was. I was like, man, I wish I would have got that one, but I like the colors. I wish I would have got one, man. I like these colors, and I'm trying to figure out, am I just gonna buy some new Joy-Cons or whatever? But it does something for the console to me.
I think it does, and I'll send you. I'll go get the link
Just
right
think
now.
about
I'll
it.
send you.
Think about all the thumbnails. What which switch do they use in the thumbnail? Everybody used the neon switch.
Yep.
Everybody, because it just pops. It looks better.
Yeah, I thought the purple GameCube looked like the burnt Borny. I was like,
man, come on, man, y'all hating on that purple game.
I hated the purple game.
That shit was swag as fuck, man.
Hated the purple game.
That was gangster level. Come on now.
Oh man,
That black GameCube was so plain looking, man.
Yeah, I couldn't go to the dorm with that, man. I couldn't do that.
This dude.
Man, hey, man, who want to play the GameCube, man? It's like, don't get that purple.
Holding it with the
purple lunchbox
I
out
love
of here.
you. You love me. Get that out
You
of
already
here.
had it. You were already holding it by a handle. What? I mean,
That man was ashamed of his GameCube. Y'all hear
I
him?
was. I had to get a black one, but now I wish I got these neon colors, man. I mean,
I just sent you the link to the gel grips that I bought. And
okay.
I just thought
$7.99.
graphite gray. I mean, that's
Worth it.
what it looks like to me. It was just too plain for me. It's like, this is a cool little device, and you won't be. People just think you're walking around with an iPad or something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
It definitely pops.
or one of those Nexus tablets, which are
Do
something.
you think Splatoon had something to do with the color choice, or how, with the paint colors being neon and bright?
They explained
like
it, didn't they? Why they?
Yeah, why was that? They
Something
They
happened.
explained why they were, because they were deciding between red or blue.
Oh, okay. That's
And
what it
then
was.
somebody there in the office, they had been handing them around, and somebody ended up, they just wanted to play, so they had a red and a blue one,
Okay, that's what
and they snapped them in, and then like, whoa,
Just look
this kind of
good.
looks good. And that's why I'm a little, what is it? They said it's lime green or whatever. It looked like yellow to me. That looks good with black and gray, so that would look nice. But I do like the two colors, and I'm hoping Splatoon has like the bright orange and the light blue.
I wanted the color.
I think we need. I think we need a different. I want the purple ones, man.
I wanted the neon red and blue from the beginning. I had to take what I could get, obviously. So, but as soon as I could find,
Make that compromise.
I had to go get them, because as soon as I could find the colored ones, I was like, "Yep, I want those."
TT was out there scouring Best
But
Buys, trying to rob people.
I didn't realize that when you buy them like
Separate.
separate,
It's the opposite
that they're
colors.
the opposite color
Or the opposite side.
controller. Yeah, and then I was like, "Why did they do that?" But then I was like, "Oh, that's smart, because if you got a neon one, now you got a situation where you can have a full red controller and a full neon blue controller."
Mhm.
I was like, "Oh,
Yeah,
that's
it was smart. It was
It's
smart.
all part of the plan, man.
So, all right. What other? We got the amiibos finally, the Smash ones,
Bruh.
and of course they pulled a Hollywood there, and we're gonna take the final. We're gonna double up on them, and just like
drag me back into this
Bastards.
game.
we're gonna have 2 Clouds, 2 Corns, and 2 Bayonettas.
I didn't even
Like,
want to do this, man.
I already pre-ordered them, man. I
I
can't
didn't even know you could.
Yeah, because fucking Cloud is, I think, Cloud Player 2, which is what they're calling the second line. The Player 2 line, the Cloud one is exclusive to GameStop.
That's the only one I'd want, but
I'm just mad.
So here's my take. Like, I think it was a little. I like that there's a female core now. I mean, that's a cool
10 out of 10.
choice. And the Bayonettas, I don't even remember what the 2 versions. One in the old suit.
Yeah, one's
Yeah,
red,
yeah,
one's
Bayonetta
red,
1,
too.
Bayonetta, and Bayonetta 2.
But it does
Bayonetta.
feel a little dirty to me, like like splitting the Hobbit into 3 movies, or the
What
final.
else they gonna do? They can't put them all in one.
Also, to me,
section?
that's just another option. How's that dirty? I mean, you didn't have,
Just
to
release one Bayonetta, one Smash, and they didn't do that for
But you
any
can
other.
buy only one, Juice.
I
You
know
don't have
you
to buy
can.
both of
Hey,
them.
Come on, man, you sound weak.
I know you can. I'm not buying any of them, honestly.
What?
But unless like I go to a store, I go to Best Buy, and they have it on the shelf, a Bayonetta or something, I'll pick it up.
Come on, Juice.
So he's
But
not getting one because that
You
ain't.
lying. All those meatballs on the shelf. You lying, dog.
I'm
You
done.
lying.
but
Is there something wrong with me? I haven't bought an amiibo yet.
How
Ain't nothing wrong with you.
That means you still have money. Congratulations.
I plan on getting one though, but I haven't bought one, man.
I tell you what, once I got one, it was hard to stop. But it was there was, I would say half of them, maybe not quite half, but 40% of them I bought just because they were hard to find, and I felt like I was getting something rare. And a lot of like, there's like 4 or 5 I almost think about doing a giveaway. Like I don't want to need a Charizard. Like I don't want him.
Don't want him. I don't want him and didn't get him.
He's dumb looking, and I was like, why do I have this? But I will say, like, the newer ones look nice, but then they jumped the price up to, I don't know if the Smash ones are going to be $14.99 or
I
$15.
doubt it.
Better not be.
But
I thought the Legend of Zelda ones were because they were better quality. Or
the Zelda ones and some one other one I saw was going to be $15.99. I'm like, come on, guys! Like,
Oh, wait a minute. I know because I already pre-ordered them. Oh, they're not.
Yeah, but they're not.
they're what?
TT over there acting like he didn't know. So I ain't know, man.
$12.99.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That, at least there's that, but I don't know. It just kind of put a little sour taste in my mouth. And I was like,
they've run Zelda to death. By the way, my God.
Yeah, Link's got like 12 different Links.
I know.
Well, I want some more Zelda ones. We're gonna get that Skyward Sword Zelda. Damn it.
It's
That's
coming,
a good point,
man.
but
Well,
you know,
Zelda.
it's an avenue for Nintendo to make money, and they're optional. You don't have to buy them, so I guess you can't get too mad. Somebody who was possibly going to buy like the Bayonetta or maybe a Corn now is
Well,
like,
you
now
said
there's
you
two
were
of
going
them.
to the Bayonetta. I remember you saying that was going to be the last one you buy.
I feel like if you're like me, you kind of a collector.
Yeah.
And, you like, damn, they
Well, I gotta do it anyway.
They are making me buy this because I can't help myself.
Well, I say because for me,
I could get upset and be like, y'all making me buy this.
Yes,
Yeah, one week.
Yeah, because I have my own little sections for it, like Fire Emblem. I need Corn to finish off the Fire Emblem collection.
That's right. I got the whole Fire Emblem. I'm like, God dang it, I got to get Corn.
How many do you have, T? Now in the meeting,
Man, I'm approaching 60. I probably got like 57.
Praise the Lord, hallelujah. Man,
I got like 28. I think Terrell might have
so
more.
you can let me borrow about 5 of them just you wouldn't even miss them.
I'll tell you what.
I'm about to say, I have like 40. I think I have 40 something.
Yeah, I have like 27. I put the Wolf Link amiibo away.
Did you?
Back in its box. Like I don't like him in the game. He's more of a nuisance than anything because he's chasing after things and like
he chases everything. Man.
I don't want to.
It's a dog, man.
I know. Apparently, you can make him stop and stuff, but it's just like then when I like fast travel, he's gone and you got to rescan him. I was just like, you know what? It doesn't really add that much to the game. I'm on my horse anyway, or I'm climbing and he can't come with. So I thought that one would be the only one to use.
Remember when we thought that shit was so cool when we first saw the footage of it?
It was cool for a bit, but then after a while, it became more of a distraction. But
he was
now that I have I'm so maxed out on all my gear and stuff. I don't use the amiibos anymore in Zelda. It was nice in the beginning when I was like limited, when I was running out of shields and stuff.
Well, you were like the only one of us that were using them because
I didn't start using them until I had everything. Like, what? He's useless.
Yeah, I had like a pot lid for a shield, and I'm like, I scanned Zelda's like, oh, I get a level 40 Night Shield, so that's cool, But anyway, let's get on to Splatoon 2. They really didn't talk that much other than that horde mode. I mean, I don't think.
I think that was the only thing they mentioned.
That's all they needed.
But yeah, to me, like, I'm not a big fan of horde modes, but it's 4-player co-op, and it's a completely new mode that, to some people, it like doubles the game to them because that's a huge deal for a lot of people.
Maybe they'll get you to play something else besides Turf War.
Yeah. So I thought it looked pretty cool, but I'm not. I don't know until I play it how I feel about it. But in other games, the horde mode's never really interested me that much. But maybe this one will be different. So, T, what'd you think? What did they call it too? It's like salmon.
Salmon
run or run or something like that.
Run salmon, boy.
Even in the South, it's called salmon.
Salmon.
Yeah,
I salmon up here
run.
too. What do you think, T? What do you think of this mode?
It took my interest in the game from 7.58 to 11. I love horde modes. I used to get down big time Gears of War, and I like horde modes because I'm not the ultra competitive shooter person, and to me it's more fun to like join with other friends and fight something else, that kind of a deal. I like those types of things more for my shooters anyway. So yeah, I was super excited about that. I was smiling. I'm sure you heard us on AGL.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I was very giddy about it. So yeah, I'm very excited.
Just think if they could take it one step further and let another group of 4 be the salmon.
I mean, I don't know how you could control them because it'd
That'd be
be
some evolved type
way
shit.
too many. Yeah, it'd be like
Yeah.
Evolve probably. Oh, don't bring that up.
Maybe
though.
you control. I forgot that game existed.
We don't talk
it
about
was-
that game.
So did the developers.
Ooh.
Where's all that DLC they had planned? But
They wanted to forget about that game. Man. Goodness, it was on like it recently came up on Xbox.
Yeah, it's free to play now.
It was free. It's like here, here you play it for free. Have fun.
Oh, that's sad.
It evolved to a free game.
It evolved.
some might
Hell
say
of an
devolved,
evolution, man.
more of a
Yeah.
devolved into.
Yeah,
Oh.
devolved into-
So
yeah, it was already a de-evolution of shooters as far as I'm concerned. But yeah. That would be cool. I mean, I think the biggest thing now, because Red got it in my head, Red Knight, is bots. Give me some bots, man. And
Just
that was
like
one
the-
thing that IGN's podcast said that I agree with. He actually brought that
just
up.
like the Octolings, make the
Yes, obviously.
the
Yeah.
like in the original game, the single player, you had the few areas where you're
Yep.
fighting.
It felt like they were bots. Yeah.
Mhm.
I
So
love that stuff.
Leveled, what's your take on this new horde
the
mode? in
salmon?
Splatoon?
I think it's a good addition, man. After you get splattered by Dr. Feelgood after 10, 20 times, you want to,
You want to be working together.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you want to work with them.
You can't beat them, so join them. So, but yeah, I think it's a good addition. I'm like T. I like horde modes, especially when you got cooperative gameplay, when you teaming up again. Voice chat, want to know how that's gonna work, because the more I get off into multiplayers, I see the need for voice chat. So that was a reality. That was a something that I did not really understand on Wii U, because I didn't do a lot of multiplayer games. But now that I do, I see the need. But yeah, I'm glad they added it. It was a highlight for me for the out of the whole direct. So yes, once I get splattered a few times by you guys and lose all will to continue on, I can join you. I can join you guys, and you know, they say leveled head down. Maybe I'd be, you know, ink down now. So go ahead. Yeah, you got man on the division, man. My skills didn't look too good. So man,
Well, at least I don't know if does every character have that life raft thing, or was that like a special ability?
No, that's if you die. That's just if you
No,
die.
it's just if you die, you can help
So
you.
we were like,
back to life.
Yeah,
we gotta resurrect leveled again.
Yeah,
We'll just have somebody over there with level the whole time.
But the thing
Now,
about
look,
I think Splatoon.
Now this
Is
won't be a division issue. I hold my own on Splatoon, but man, I look bad on division.
We just can't play with Dr. Feel Good.
It don't hurt as bad. I feel like it doesn't hurt as bad to lose in Splatoon. Like you're not upset. I never got upset.
No, T, no.
No?
Dr. Feelgood. No, man.
You don't want to hear that noise.
No, I
You
can't
feel
hear
good
that.
hiding in the ink.
Dude, when you can't even come out the spawn spot, when you get shot, you can't even come out. That's how he did me one time,
Yeah,
man.
I never had them
I
situations.
couldn't even step out of the spawn spot. He would shoot me down. I was like, dude, this is embarrassing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that humbled a brother.
I just
Real
hope
talk.
the rollers are nerfed a little bit more, because they seem to be in the test fire. I wasn't getting killed as much because of the narrow way when you jump and sling it. It goes to a
nerf
narrow.
rollers on Splatoon 1.
Still, there was that one it was a one hit shot.
You talking about the dynamo roller?
Yeah, and you
Feel
jump.
Good-
I mean,
Feel
they're
Good
just
was
jumping
an
and
asshole
getting
with-
ridiculous distance with it, and now it's like it makes it
Feel
turn
Good was a
sideways.
fucking asshole with that roll. I hate that.
Rage.
That I did get upset a few times with the rollers destroying me.
He got juice in his feelings. He
You
was
guys
like,
need to center your chi, man.
he
You
was
gotta
like, how do you shoot me from over there?
But yeah, it's got me definitely more interested in Splatoon 2. I like that it's a whole new mode added, so that adds a lot to the game, and we'll see how they break up the lobbies. Maybe they won't force, hey, you can play horde mode for this 4-hour period. Hopefully it's just available all the time,
And what about the fact that the amiibo hints at loadouts, being able to
Oh yeah, it looks
No,
like
it hints
Amiibo.
at a feature that the load that should be in the game is
Well,
locked to the Amiibo.
that doesn't mean that it's gonna be. That was a good way to promote their, the Amiibos. That doesn't mean that you have to use the Amiibos to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's true, but I'm
like you can take it to a friend's house and have it on there.
Let's
that
just
type of
say
thing.
that $40 triple Amiibo pack I bought, $37.99.
What?
Maybe because it was $34.99, but Toys R Us charges more for Amiibos, and they were the only ones that had it. So
Bastards.
I paid almost $40 for that triple pack.
Damn.
They are awesome Amiibos, but to have another good use for them in another game would be nice.
Well, Amiibos keep on the gift that keeps giving. So
yeah, and they are still my favorite Amiibos.
Yeah, they definitely. When the quality started to step up, the
I have my Amiibo Inkling Girl sitting on my monitor stand, so all the time, and next to Ganon. But yeah, it's good stuff. I mean, more modes, the better, and we'll see what other squad-based modes they add. For the what did they call that in Splatoon 1? The was it just squads? What was the one where it was the not turf war?
It's in my Rainmaker.
No, ranked battles. Yeah.
Oh, ranked battle.
We'll see how they work that. They didn't go in any details. Hey, is it going to be this one's available for this time, and then hopefully they're just all available. There's going to be enough. I think of a user base. I would think Splatoon 2 is gonna sell a couple million easy right away. So there's going to be enough to have all the modes available. But they didn't talk about any of that, so we really can't discuss it. Another thing I was happy about and leveled. I know you have fast RMX, but on Wednesday we get the update finally to play Friends Lobby.
Yeah.
And Time Attack. And,
okay.
I've been practicing. I finished the Supersonic Cup. And I was thinking about starting Hypersonic, but I'm still trying to get first on a couple of the cups on Supersonic. So I've been practicing, getting pretty good at the game. And hopefully once that Friends lobby, there's still people playing it, because I didn't hit it at first because of Zelda, but I've been getting more into it now. And
I control so much better than the Wii U one, man.
Yeah, I went back and played the Wii U one, and I didn't have. There is a vehicle in the Wii U that, to me, still has amazing turning. And
a vehicle though.
There's one vehicle that's really good. And I was shocked at how good the Wii U version still looked to me.
Yeah, it looked good.
It's an impressive game, and definitely some of the best rumble that I've experienced, and the music. Those beats, that bass, and those tracks. Some of those tracks are really, really good. And
$20 game. I mean,
it's amazing that they got it at launch, and that month and a half we're getting, the rest of the game basically. So I'm looking forward to that, playing with some friends finally. And
so when is that update?
On Wednesday.
This Wednesday.
Days. Yep.
Yeah, free update.
I haven't played. Actually, haven't played Fast RMX in a while. I've been playing either Snake Pass or Zelda, so I need to jump back on that. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Did you beat Zelda yet?
Man, look, let's talk about this.
Yeah, that's the next. Well, first,
Well, I'll wait. I'll save it to you.
Let me ask one question. Oh yeah, let me just. Are you done? Did you have anything else to comment on Fast? Because I forgot a question about ARMS. All right, ARMS. Who is going to start with motion first and see how that goes, and see if they can roll with the motion controls for ARMS, or is anybody here going to start with the controller and then maybe switch to motion?
Start motion first.
Yeah, I'll start motion.
I'll probably start motion to see how they want you to play, and if I can't play that way, I go to.
If you're fighting the motion, then it's like, all right, I'm done.
I'm gonna give it a couple hours with the motion, see how it goes, and then I'll try the controller too, just to see. And then go back and forth, because just like with Splatoon, I went back and forth with dual analog and gyro in the beginning. And once I got used to the gyro, going back to dual analog was archaic to me. So we'll see what ARMS. Maybe
I just want to be one of those people that are beastly on the motion control. I remember that in Mario Kart. These dudes using the damn motion in Mario Kart Wii, and
they got the gold, so they've never used anything else.
They're killing it. I'm like, I want to be one of those people.
And it's a reason to use my Joy-Cons more, because I haven't been playing a ton with them since I got the Pro Controller. So I think that's a good way to feel like I'm actually utilizing the Joy-Cons. So
True. You gonna get the extra grip?
The what? The battery pack one?
Yeah.
We'll see what the price is.
Yeah, we don't know how much it is
because it's double A's. So
it's more than $20. They can kiss my plushie black.
I would think that's a $10 thing, but we'll see.
Yeah, okay. It's gonna be 20. You can believe that.
We'll see, but it does look like it makes them maybe like it would actually be kind of what I've been asking for, like just giving you more to hold on to. So we'll see. But Terrell, before we move on to the Zelda, we're gonna talk some Zelda stuff. That Japanese Direct had something the US one didn't.
Bruh,
would you like to comment?
I'll comment. It was the dumbest shit because the dude got all right. So anyways, a lot of people know on this podcast and people in the chat already know that I follow a game franchise known as Senran Kagura, also known as Fighting Anime Titties, the game. and the
You must level it up. You broke level.
I saw the video, but I didn't think that's what you was going to talk about.
Listen. So we found out in the Japanese Direct, they announced, oh, we got a game coming out for Switch. And the fucking reveal was stupid because you got this one picture of the girl, and they're sitting there going, we've been doing a lot of work with the Joy-Cons, working on the softness and the jiggle.
HD rumble.
And they fucking they pull out like this pudding and they dump it on the damn table, and you just see it jiggling. Like, I'm just sitting there going, "Oh my god, this is gonna be some shit."
Now the question is,
super slow mo, 2 frames per second.
Does this say more about our culture or theirs? Which one is more progressive? Because
I don't know if you call that progressive. I
think it's progressive.
I call that entertainment. That's what I call that.
I think it's progressive because they don't get all bent out of shape about it. The way
I don't know. It depends on what Japanese woman you ask.
That was so strange to me, man. Like, are they really trying to make Joy-Con?
Man. Y'all can't tell me.
Well, here's the funny thing.
Y'all not a little bit curious how that would actually feel. No bullshit.
But here's the thing.
I'm trying to stay a Christian on this podcast.
No, I'm asking if you're curious. I ain't asking nothing else.
I plead the fifth.
Did anybody notice when he was squeezing the watermelons,
the
water balloons? He had a Joy-Con in his left hand, and he's squeezing this water balloon in his right hand. It's like, are they somehow trying to
I think they are.
Like send the signal to the Joy-Con and trying to match that sensation.
Yeah. I think that's what they're going for. I thought that was the whole point. Well, that brings up the questions. Go ahead.
The question is, who allowed them to pursue the idea?
He said it. No, because he was at the actual reveal, and that's the first thing he said
that at the reveal.
He said, "I want to get that. I want to see if I can get the feeling of softness." That's the way he described it.
I knew where he was going.
I don't see how the HD Rumble is going to replicate squeezing something like that, I can understand maybe the jiggle sensation.
His mind was already racing as soon as he saw that shit.
I could see softness. I don't understand that part, but I could understand the jiggle sensation. You know what I'm saying?
My question is, what kind of game is that going to be? Considering
it's going to be a pet your waifu.
Actually, that's what I'm betting on, because that's something that makes sense.
Something that would never come out over here because we too uptight.
No, I mean, we got the first 2 3DS games, and
it's going to be using the motion.
But those are actually games,
Well, because
they are really good action games.
Well, for some reason, Senran Kagura seems to fluctuate genres. Like its main series is action. Yeah. Then you had the fucking cooking game on the Vita. They got ported to PC later. Then you had the water gun game. That
Dashi was playing that recently.
Yeah, they just came out on PlayStation 4 a few days ago. I mean, I think like a week or so ago. And now we're at fucking, hey guys, we might be doing a dating sim, and you're just kind of like, man, y'all gonna get these Nintendo fans fucked up. Y'all need to chill out. All right,
people that would want to buy that, they'd be too embarrassed to even.
Yeah, because I saw the trailer and I was like, wait a minute, she's in a classroom and she's smiling at the camera, and this man talking about
my white bar and see that what is going on in there. What are you doing?
You're trying to get me in trouble, man.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird, but
you can't tell you ain't curious though.
I love that. I love the fact that they're thinking that way. You know, obviously it's out there, but I just love the fact that they're thinking like that in a video game.
Yeah, you're gonna be using the gyro as like a on-screen hand or something. I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
Well, I'm about to say, well, think about it. What do you think you're gonna be doing in No More Heroes for the Switch?
Right,
jacking off the Wii.
Well, think about that.
Yeah, so like, what are you possibly gonna be doing in the Switch version?
We'll see. But that's a difference between Japanese culture and ours. And
hey, man, that's why I like Japanese games.
You can import it. That's all. You never have to worry. You can import it.
Either way, you're gonna get it. So if you want it.
Oh man, I'm looking at Xseed. Xseed will fucking bring that over. All right, I know.
They probably will. Yeah.
But yeah, it's good stuff overall. I mean, we didn't cover the whole direct, but we hit the main ones. And let's talk about some Zelda here, because Leveled, I know you haven't been on since the Switch came out. So, and you know, the guys on your podcast, not all of them been playing. Just you and Keith, seems like.
Yeah.
So you know, we're all. I think everybody beat it here, except Leveled. So we won't spoil anything. But what's your current progress? And I guess if, you know, we talked about the combat, we've talked about the world and how it feels alive and stuff. If you want to just kind of go over some of your thoughts on the game to the Juices Loose audience.
Yeah, so I got an interesting story that I'm going to play into, but the game is great. Definitely enjoy the freedom to roam and go anywhere you want to go. I like the ability to, you know, steal a horse when you want to take a horse, or tame a horse or whatever. But I like running. I just like footing it everywhere I go for the most part. I leave the horses, man. I left Black so many times. Just he's like, oh, I want to go up this mountain, and you can't go up there. Well, just stay away from them goblins over there, and just stay right there. But I'm all the way through all the Divine Beast. I got 70 shrines under my belt. I was telling you all this, Terminator Juice. But an interesting thing happened to me to where it's making me rush now. And I'm pretty sure Terminator know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I didn't tell anybody, or I think T knows about it.
So what happened was I went upstairs, getting onto my son, helping him get his room in order. He had an SD card laying around. So I was like, you using this? He's like, no. So I took it downstairs to add to my Switch. You know, like I ain't got to buy one. It was 32 gigabyte. So I put it into my Switch, and I noticed it would never format. So I didn't think nothing of it. I thought maybe I need to go through the settings and change something or whatever. And that was like 2 days I had left it in my Switch. Well, I had been playing Zelda, and I was about to come downstairs to do a podcast. This was this past Thursday. And I was coming downstairs to do a podcast, and I pulled the Switch out the dock to do something because my wife wanted to use the TV, or my daughter did. And I touched the the stand, the kickstand, and literally burnt my hand. Like it singed me good, like touching off. You know, that was some heat. So I was like, what the heck is going on? So I was like, well, let me see if this. And so once I popped it up, I, pushed the SD card out, and I tossed the SD card thinking, okay, it might have been a defective SD card. That's what made it hot. Well, the next day I was playing the Switch, and I pulled up my kickstand, and it was that whole spot. The plastic was melted, and you could see through to the metal. And I called Nintendo. I just got my papers to mail it off to get it either checked to make sure ain't nothing wrong with it, or get the plastic fixed or replaced or whatever. So now I'm rushing through Zelda. So I went to the dungeon to the castle today, and quickly left the castle. So, see, I got up in there, man. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm dodging. I'm reflecting beams from the Guardians. I'm looking all hot and like, yeah, he doing it. Got on my Guardian outfit, looking all trill. And I get into the castle in this spot where they drop the doors, and you got to fight a Leon.
You went into
you got trapped in one of those.
Yeah, I went straight through the front gate. I'm like, I'm trying to rush in. I'm thinking I'm just gonna run in and chop some stuff down and run it to Ganon, and we gonna get it on. Nah, man, my daughter started laughing at me. I died so much. So I said, I'm just going to go back to trying to find some more shrines and get some more meat and some more food and things. And I come back.
Let me ask you this real quick. Do you have the ancient arrows?
Yes, I have the ancient arrows. I killed it, but I don't like killing it that way. I want to actually.
Yeah,
I
but
want to beat them.
In that spot, they don't drop any gear or anything. So when I was going through, I was like, you know what? You just get a chest after you beat them. No matter what. I just shot him with the. I was like, you know, I just want to get to the Ganon. But I got that picture. I'm gonna switch to.
How did y'all? I'm gonna. Y'all ran into Guardians.
Hold on a second. Yeah, I'm screen sharing right now.
If you go through the front, you go run through Guardians.
Well, yeah.
Are you showing them the picture? Yeah, that's.
Yeah, here's the picture. So let me talk. So.
Oh damn!
Oh my god.
Yeah. So.
Oh Lord.
When you talk, it goes away.
It wasn't the Switch. It was the SD card. I think it was the defective SD card that didn't work, and my son didn't tell me. I think it was broke.
Yeah, because that melted. Almost looks like a hole there. And,
it melted around the SD card.
That SD card
got so hot.
Did you have you seen the Switch opened up to see what's right behind there? Like, is it I think the battery or something's on that side?
Yeah, the battery takes like a third of the console.
So.
Yeah,
but anyway.
So now it wants to when I put it in sleep mode, it turns itself back on every now and again. So I know it might. So I can still play it. It still work fine. So either way it go, I'm good. I just got to send it off. So they're gonna have to wait because I'm gonna beat Zelda before I do that.
Just in case, because I did see a disclaimer somewhere that they're not guaranteeing transfer of save data.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. So
that's why you're trying to beat it before you send it in.
Right. That's why I'm trying to beat it now. So
that's the case. And you can't transfer your saves, which is BS.
Yeah.
That's one thing they got to fix.
The lady told me there's a strong possibility that they'll be able to transfer my data. Yeah. But I don't think
manually, like everybody can't do it. You should be able to take your save file and put it on the card. And
I do.
Well, he can't because his card reader's probably melted.
Well, he can't do it. Yeah, obviously.
I did want to ask you a favor, Level. When you get your game console back, there was rumors that some people who got their console fixed and got it back from Nintendo had like a cloud option that showed up on their game system.
Oh, okay.
Like I'll find the link and show it to you. But I found there was somebody who had like I think the Joy-Con issue or like a warped. I think it was the one who had the warped Switch. He got it back and it had like this option for like cloud saving. You were like, the hell is that? So
we can't transfer our saves, and we need to have some cloud storage. Then.
Now, did you just say that you can save your game on an SD card, the data?
What's that?
I think if the game's installed on an SD card, it will save to the SD card. But
yeah. If you put an SD card in later, you can't like transfer it. You have to.
It'd be like that archive function, wouldn't it?
The game has to be installed onto the SD card for you to be okay, be safe. But if you didn't install it, obviously, if it's a cart, it automatically saves to the internal memory when you put a cartridge in.
Right. Okay.
So they need to change that so you can copy to an SD card.
Exactly. Files. It's a very simple thing that video game consoles have been doing for a long time. So
not the Switch though.
And the one thing, like. Looking at Spawnway's video where he took it apart, the SD card readers it has like a connector. They could just pop it out, put a new one in, and if they have a way to copy it, I think they'd be able to switch that SD card reader out to possibly copy your data that way. But hopefully, I still think you're making the right choice by beating Zelda first.
Yeah, I'm gonna beat it, but.
So
it handed me my tail, man. I was like, "This is embarrassing." My daughter.
You got to go an easier way into that castle.
No, T. I'm going in blazing, man.
You ain't got to do that though, man.
I still ain't got my
man, that's gangster. I'm gonna give level.
I still don't have my Hylian shield though. I haven't found that yet.
He had to tell me kind of the entrance to find it in the castle, but I'm gonna give a minor spoiler. Somebody did the same for me. It didn't ruin nothing for me. I still had to find it. There is a shrine in the castle, but it's hidden, and there's no indication. I just happened to do something, and just out of the blue, I knew there was one in there. I wasn't looking for it, but I seen something. I was like, I'm gonna do something with this right here, and then boom, shrine popped up. So you have a fast travel point.
Okay.
to the
Yeah, I'm
castle.
gonna go back up there and muscle through it. But like I said, I don't think. Only thing I think is wrong with guys, to be honest with you, is the plastic is melted. It looked worse than what it actually is.
Yeah, it doesn't get hot anymore.
No, it played fine. Only thing that's weird to me, and I don't know why it's doing it. It turns itself on when and it didn't do that, but a few days after this happened. So I don't know if it's a setting I got going on or if it's actually that heat might have damaged
something. Yeah.
You know what kind of card it was?
Micro minis. I don't know. No, I don't know.
You don't know what brand?
Band something band.
Is the card like? What does the card look like? Just
What
completely.
color is it? Black with
black.
red writing.
It was yeah. No. White writing. White writing.
So it's black or white writing. Okay.
Yeah, black or white writing.
So it could be anything.
Like I said, I should have entered with caution when I was getting it out of my son's room. But no, I did.
Did the card melt or did the card look okay?
The card was fine. It's just it melted around it. I guess it got so hot.
That is odd.
Yeah, it's weird, man.
It had to have been related to that.
Yeah, it was the card. It had to be the card.
Because it looked like it was the casing, the aluminum casing of the what do you call it? The slot, the SD slot that got overheated. That's what it looks like. It caved in on itself from the heat.
Yeah, and the heat just melted the plastic.
Yeah.
It looks worse than it probably is.
Any you've been playing the game quite a bit, so if you can't think of anything top of your head, but any like memorable stories of anything that's happened to you since the day you turned it on, something cool, whether it's a huge or a minor thing that stood out to you, if anything pops into your head.
What stands out to me, man, is the way you could beat shrines, a way that I know they didn't technically want you to beat it that way.
Yeah. I've seen a speedrunner who was really cutting some corners. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was this one shrine I went into where it was based on electricity. And I had an electrical sword. And I just hit the switch and ran in and got and I didn't do none of the obstacle stuff that they needed you to do because I couldn't figure it out. And I was like, oh, I got a sword. Let me see if this works. Hit the switch with the sword, walked in, and I passed the stage. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Well, there's one where you got to activate 2 switches and have them both activated for it to open the door.
Now, this one shrine, I don't know the name of it, but you might know what I'm talking about because I think it's easy to remember. You walk in and you see this ball behind this thing being thrown up in the air.
Oh yeah, it's going
thrown up in the air. And you shoot the ball. Spoilers. Well, I know how to do that part, but I can't get the other part. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. So I shoot the ball. I pause. What is it? Stasis.
Stasis.
Yeah, I shoot the stasis. I shoot it with a bow and arrow. And then when the fall, it rolls into.
That's what I did.
Then it pops you up on the platform you on, and then if you look to your left, there's a switch in this hole in the wall. Well, I shoot that, and the door opens, but by the time I land and close again, I haven't figured it out yet. So I just left it. So I don't know if y'all figured that one out.
I had no trouble with that. Sometimes it just be like that. You go in, it's like, like I was having trouble getting this climbing scarf, and I just left it. I was like, and I went back and did it again. It was cake.
Yeah,
just like sometimes you got to leave it and come back.
Sometimes you get lucky and you get it the first try, but I don't remember that other part of it.
Got it in the first try. I was so embarrassed. He was 7, and he was like, "Oh, you didn't get the climbing scarf? Ooh. I did it the first time. You suck."
That was in a shrine.
I haven't even found that. I was looking for it. I didn't know where.
Yeah, I got one shrine left, and
Twin Peaks. What? Spoilers.
That makes sense. That makes total sense.
Right.
Why would I not think the look son of a bitch?
Yeah. So I got to share. I don't know the word I'm looking for, but I gotta admit something I don't feel good about. I had 118 shrines, so I was 2 shrines away from being able to say for the rest of my life that I found all 120 shrines without looking up where they're at. You know, I had to look up. I knew where one shrine was, and I had to it was a shrine quest, and all I saw was I just looked up to see, hey, you got to complete all the quests of that area before the shrine quest activates. I don't count that because I knew where the shrine was. I knew where the ball was, and I just couldn't figure there. But I was at 118, and I talking to Robert, who has 120 shrines, but he used a guide. And he said, if you go to the menu and go to Shrine Quest, it showed he only had half his Shrine Quest completed, but he had all the shrines. So I was like, dang it. So that means that I show 2 Shrine Quests left, but I could have already done them if you just find the shrine but don't activate the quest. So,
I see.
So I pulled up a list of Shrine Quests, and I'm going through my list. Oh, I don't have this one. And then I look at the shrine name, and I was like, oh, yeah, I do have that one. So then I go to the spot. There's a plaque right next to the ball I picked up. And you read it, and it starts the Shrine Quest, and then it immediately said complete for me. So I was like, all right, one more Shrine Quest. So I probably same thing for the other one. So I look, and I see the name, and it was like something will, strength of will or something. I don't have that one. I see the area. I was like, yeah, I did Shrine Quest there for sure. And then I read one more line, and I knew it was a different one than one I haven't done. And you think I would have stopped reading, but no. I read the next sentence. I read the next sentence. I read the next. I'm like, next thing I know, I knew where it was at, what it involved, and what gear you needed to. I don't know why I kept reading, because when I went there, beeline straight to it, because I knew right where it was. And I tell you what, I just had a just rotten feeling in the pit of my stomach, like all that.
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah,
2 shrines away from having 120 the right way, and I looked that one up, and it was a awesome Shrine Quest. It would have been so cool to find and experience completely on my own. And I'm vowed. I got one more shrine. I have no idea where it is, and I've been looking. I vowed I don't care what it takes. I'm going to find it without looking it up, because that totally ruined the experience. Luckily, the shrine
I bought
itself,
the guide, and I'm scared. I'm like,
why did you buy the guide?
Because I had delusions of grandeur. I'm gonna 100% the game, but it's like I'm not looking for no 900 Korok seeds.
No.
Oh man,
that's
and
what else?
So I haven't looked at any of the shrine stuff, but I've been looking at some Korok seed stuff. That's about
it. I can tell you from first. If I could take it back, I would. I don't care if it take me another 40 hours to find. It hurt your heart, didn't it? It completely. I almost didn't want to play the game the next couple days. I did.
You were
just like, man, that just completely. The fun of this game is looking for stuff and finding it on your own and seeing something in the distance, mark it on your map, going to it, and it turned out to be a shrine. Like the podcast before, I think I shared a story. Maybe I forgot. There was 2 times I'm looking at the map. I was like, I haven't been there. I'm going to put a beacon right here. It was 50 feet, well, in-game, maybe 50 feet away from a shrine where I put that pin. That happened twice. I did it in another area, and it was more than 50 feet, but it was like real close, probably maybe 100 yards away from where the shrine was. Just looking at the map, knowing I hadn't been into an area yet, and looking at the layout, that would be a good spot for a shrine. Put a pin there, and twice in a row, I put the pin almost on the shrine. So I followed that up by looking one up, and it just wasn't a good feeling. So.
Man, they got some of these shrines in some clever places. This is one shrine I found. It's inside a mountain.
Yeah, I couldn't.
There's a few of those.
Yeah, well, this one.
Did you see it through a crack?
No, I didn't. I was just floating. I say the location. You coming from the Rito area?
Oh.
I was just floating, and my thing started going off. I'm like, oh, okay, this is yes. Let's see where this is gonna lead. So I float, and you got a current sending you up. And I'm like, okay, it's sending me up. So I just I drop through it. Then I land in this body of water, and then I see these 2 lights lit up on the side. So I swim into it. Then all of a sudden I swim in their shrine. I'm like, oh, that was a dope spot. But there's some other spawns that frustrated me to no end. Where there's one particular spot where I just found it a few days ago, where I floated around this area for about 35-40 minutes, just floating. And I'm knowing I'm there because my beacon won't even. It's so lit up that I know I'm right on it. And I'm like, where is this? I float down, I float back up, and luckily it had a current there that you can parasail back up in the air. And I kept floating. By the time I finally saw this rock, this weird looking rock region where you could tell that if you threw a bomb, you could blow it up. I ain't have no bomb arrows. I didn't have nothing. So I had to literally go up there, climb up there, stand on the edge. This is what I like about this game. There's so many ways to do it. There's a little edge where I can balance on, and Link was able to stand. I threw the bomb, blew the rocks down, and there go the shrine. But I have been there for about
that exact same scenario happened to me, and I know exactly which one you're talking about.
I know which one because that's the one. That's the one I put the pin on the map.
Cold over there?
No, it's probably
no, it's not cold.
Is there
It's a lot of waterfalls?
Oh yeah. Okay, that one too. Yeah.
That's the one I put the pin on the map just by looking at the geography, and that's one I almost
looks
put
kind of
right
interesting
on.
over there.
But there's one that's on. There's a river, and it's the same thing. You got to blow the rocks, but you can't get in the stream so strong. Like I go way upstream, throw the bomb, and then watch the current take it, and then blow it up when it got close enough. Because I didn't think to use bomb arrows. I mean, how stupid is that? But I had bomb arrows. But here I am going upstream, standing on a rock in the middle of a river, throwing a bomb and trying to get it to go to the right side, the side where I needed it, and then detonating it when it got close.
Don't feel bad, man. That happened to me, especially with my son playing it too. He'll do something like, "Oh, that was a much better way to do it than I did it."
And
you didn't know how to do that? I was like, "Oh, yeah, I know how to do it. Shut up."
That is the greatness of this game. I mean, I mean, there's just so many ways to do stuff like that. And
the coolest thing to me is like I just recently found a shrine that I would have found earlier, but it was like, oh, that's way too treacherous for me to go up in there. There's a lot of little, guardians everywhere, I'll just say. And I'm I remember going that way, and I'm like, nope, I'll turn around because it was early in my playing.
Yeah,
I was probably like 10 hours in at that time. I was like, nope. And I forgot
if you climbing up the side of like it's like a castle, but it ain't the main castle, or is it?
I think I could say the name because you can't see it unless you've been there, or Forgotten Temple. If you go, that's what it's called. So I remember like, but I came back up in there with my Guardian gear on. I'm like, I ain't scared of y'all.
That's what I was just going to ask. Like, did you have a sense of empowerment when you got
I definitely did. I was like, hey.
Like, I'm walking around, my ego got so swollen. I was out here just, especially when I got the Master Sword.
Yeah.
I don't even block them. I just run up to them, shoot them in their eye, and then chop all their legs off. And just keep cutting them. And then every now and again, I let them aim at me, and I shoot them in their eye again. I don't know. I'd be cruel with it. I'd be wrong.
You used to be frightened of those things at first. When you hear that little music and that little oh no.
It don't even bother me no more.
Yeah, not anymore.
I was telling Rob a rule too because he's still scared of them.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm kind of envious of that because that tension is gone. Now it's just like they're almost an inconvenience, but when I want to take them out, it's so simple. Like they don't even stand a chance.
It's nothing now.
There's two areas where one you got to go through a lot of them. It looked like you just went through the Iraqian desert or something. They got so many beams on you when you floating through there to get to the shrine. And then there's another one when you go through the maze. I don't know if y'all found.
Terrell told that story last week.
Yeah, you drop down under the ground under it, and there's a whole bunch under there.
It's like fucking hell.
Yeah. Well, the first one where you floating through, where you got to float through there, I was scared. That's when I was intimidated. I'm dropping and floating back up to cause them to miss, and I finally got to the shrine. But then I had later on in the game, like weeks later, I was trying to find this particular locations that I thought that shrine was it, and I went there, and I was trying to gather up more of the ancient screws and all that stuff. And man, I landed there, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot about you guys." Killed every last one of them within 15 minutes, man. Took all their stuff, and that whole area is just dead. It's like, wow, this is
then a blood moon happens.
Dude, I got the glitch. I'm glad you just brought up blood moon. I got the glitch. Was it last night? Either last night or the night before.
Is that an accomplishment?
It was like none of this stuff has happened to me, so I was really surprised. Like it was like 8:19 p.m. and all of a sudden the blood moon started showing. I'm like, what? It's a little early for the moon. It was like, and it showed up. And it came and obviously did its thing and left. I'm like, that was weird. 819.
I
don't
know
even
I could one of them them Centaurs, whatever you call
Lionel.
it. Yeah, Lionel. And as soon as I killed it, a blood moon showed up.
Yeah, that happens almost every time I killed one.
I was like, wait a minute, I just got this sword. I just got this shield.
I ain't about to waste it again.
It was 11:30 though, I'm guessing, right? It was 11:30 when that happened for you.
It was night.
I don't know what time. All I know is it was over by the
Zora.
The sun had just
that happened to me too with the Zora one. As soon as I
Zora.
killed it, the blood moon was coming up as like its health got down to almost nothing. I see the blood moon.
Mad, man.
It waited till I killed it.
That's the only one that I've been able to kill. If it's the white ones, I ain't look, man. I know I can play, but
once you kill the red one, you don't see him no more.
No, you see the blue and then the white and then the silver. Yeah. The silver
they start getting replaced.
Yeah, the silver has a HP of 5,000.
Yeah, that's what I was fighting in the castle. Was
it's tough. Yeah. But I've gotten good at not getting hit by them. It's just it takes so long to kill them.
It takes a while. I get impatient.
I got some news that might be slightly appealing and slightly exciting for Splatoon 2 later on. So I guess the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe review copies are being sent out because there's all this footage that's coming out. And it was confirmed. Apparently, you can now change your carts in the online lobby. You don't have to back out of the whole. Nice. There's actually an option to change the cart. So maybe
that's cool because you don't have to back out to switch your setup in Mario Kart.
Hopefully, Splatoon 2 has something similar.
Yeah, that's a nice addition, I gotta say. But getting back to Zelda, Terrell, I know you haven't played it.
Kyrie,
Kyrie is having a good night. It sounds like.
I don't think the Pistons didn't make the playoffs this year, did they?
No,
they did last year.
They playing the Pacers. Okay. I didn't know Stevenson was back on the Pacers. I thought they booted him, but he's back on there.
I haven't watched basketball since Chauncey Billups they got rid of him from the Pistons.
Yeah, you a decade away, man.
Yeah, that's right after they won. But anyway,
was it goddamn
Zelda? Let's get back to video games. T. I know that when you beat it, you kind of took a little break, played some other stuff. Have you put any time in?
I probably put 15 hours in this week starting about maybe Wednesday of last week. And I've had these experiences I've been telling you about with the, finding that shrine and the blood moon
and you got the Guardian gear. I'm proud of you.
Got the Guardian gear and
he's like a concerned father.
What is it? Terrytown has been taken care of. We got the wedding.
Yeah, that was
all
cool.
that. So
wait, what?
Yeah, I ain't done none of that. I haven't done it.
Oh.
I found. You know what's cool about that?
My God! Sorry.
By time that
I'm playing, I was looking for that shrine and I ran across a stone talus and now I'm a little freaked out.
I'm glad you brought
my first time running into it in the game.
Stone talus ain't that.
I got like 3 things I want to say right now.
Sorry. Right.
First off, the stone talus reminded me of you talk to somebody and I forget where, and he tells you how many of those types of enemies there are in the world.
Mm-hmm.
There's like 40 of those, and how many Hinox, and then when I don't know if it's, I think after you beat the game, the next time you face them, or maybe it's not even after you beat the game. If you go to one you already beat, there's a star next to it and it says defeated. I don't know if anybody leveled up noticed that. So now I used to just kind of avoid them. Now I'm if it doesn't say defeated, I take it on. And one of my good stories for the week was I'm looking for that shrine. So I've covered the Gerudo Desert quite a bit, the Hebrew region, and Akala or Akala. I don't know the exact pronunciation. I would say Akala.
I'm pretty sure it's Akala.
Akala.
Yeah.
So I love that because of the colors of the leaves. It's like fall.
Like fall all the time over there. Yeah.
So I'm just off of Death Mountain, it's like the edge of Death Mountain in the Akala region, and I get into this wooded area, and they got the white tree trunks with the colored leaves, and there's Octoroks just blasting me everywhere. So I was like, I just make it a mission to kill all of them because they just kept shooting at me and hitting me. And then I get to the edge, and there's like these. It looks like bone. It's like white rock that looks like giant bones. I don't know if you guys have seen those by that electrical tower area to you with the
Yeah.
those. Anyway,
I hated that area for a long time.
yeah, so it's like really grassy, and I get to the edge, and it's those white bone-like structures, and then I hear, and I'm like, there's a Hinox somewhere. So I track him down, and he's on the other side, like a gap that I jump, and then more wooded area. So I'm like, I had my stealth gear on because I have that on a lot. Because once you upgrade it, the bonus effect is you run twice as fast at night as you do without the gear on. So anyway, so I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna try something. So I throw a bomb, and it rolls right up to him, and then I hide behind a tree, and I detonate, and he wakes up, and he's looking, and he looks away. So I pull out my bow, and I poke out around the tree, and he's just turning, can see his eye, and I get a critical in his eye, and I run up to him, and I hit him with my like Royal Claymore, 2 or 3 hits, and then I run away, and I go hide behind another tree. And he gets up, and he's looking, and the whole time the music hasn't changed because he hasn't seen me, so it's just the normal music. And like it was daytime, and the wind was kind of blowing, and then he turns away, and I was feeling like tense about it because I'm like, I don't want to be seen, just because I want to accomplish something on my own, my little meta game that I came up with. And so then he turns just enough. I get the eye again, and I run up, and I hit him, and then I go running. I did it like 4 times, and I killed him. And he never saw me once. The music never started.
That's crazy.
I can show you another way to kill them easy too.
There is a couple different easy ways.
Which you can go out of their boundary, right where they, you run so far out of their territory, they turn away, right? Mm-hmm. So what I did, it was where you got the 3 of them in that area. You got the brothers. So now I just run between their legs and kill them. I just run.
Well, they try to butt stomp you.
They'll sit on you.
Yeah, I just run under between their legs. It's easy. But anyway, what I did was I stood. It was a spot where he would not leave.
Oh, okay. You got just far enough away.
And I just kept throwing bombs and blowing. It was the funniest thing because he'd get mad and shake and do all that stuff. But when he turned away to walk away, I hit him with a bomb. And then he'd turn around and like, who did that? Do that thing and look around. And he didn't notice nothing. And I throw the bomb, hit him again. He'd look around and he'd shake. It took long to kill him, but that's when I didn't have hardly any hearts and any armor. But now I just run between their legs, chop them up. When they stump, come back, chop them up. I kill them in about 30, 40 seconds.
The most satisfying way I took out a Hinox was once you get a certain piece of headgear, you ain't got to worry about lightning storms no more, electrical attacks. And so I put on every metal piece of equipment I could. It was thunder and lightning. I think I had them down to maybe just under half the Hinox, beaten. Mm-hmm. And it was lightning out there. I was like, all right, I'm going to let nature finish you off. So I went over there and, my gear starts sparking, and I just ran up on him and finished him off with a lightning.
Really? That's awesome.
Awesome.
And I tried that. I had a thunderstorm, and I heard one snoring, and I put on that same gear, and then I had a rusty sword or something on the ground, and I used my magnesis, and I was as soon as I got in his area, it wouldn't spark that sword anymore, and I was holding it over him while he was sleeping, just waiting for it to, and it never happened. So I was like, I had to cheat it, and it didn't work. So I was like, dang it. But then when I put the sword on myself, I didn't think to go stand next to him and take the shock, but I was hoping that would have worked, and it didn't.
And I tried to record this stuff, and I got like, I don't know, at least 110 gigs of Zelda footage because I'm hoping to catch these cool moments. And the minute I stop it, something like that happens. Never fails. And I'm like,
at least you didn't get stuck in a field during an electrical storm because you forgot you had a shield that was metal. I was standing under this wooden broken down house. I made a video on it. You can go to my channel.
And I was like thinking, why didn't you just take off the shield?
I didn't. That's the thing. I forgot about the whole aspect of not running around with metal and different things on an electrical store. And it was early on in my experience with Zelda, so I wasn't thinking like, I got to take off this metal stuff. All I'm thinking, I got to get out this thunderstorm. So I'm just standing here. I stood there for 30 minutes before I realized all I had to do was take off the metal stuff. It was like, man, it was so stupid of me. I had to share it. So,
but yeah, that's the beauty of just like even with Ocarina of Time, there's so many solutions that were like use your real world logic on things, and this takes it to a whole nother level. But that worked against you. Your real world thinking was take cover.
You were thinking just take cover. This is a video game, man.
And wait it out. That's what I just love about this game so much, and it doesn't look realistic, but all the little things they put in there make it feel more realistic or more alive than any other game I've ever played. And
but you bring up an interesting point because I brought this up on our podcast. I don't know if I'm pretty sure y'all, if you beat it, you've seen this. If you got one of the memories where you go, well, I don't think it's a memory, but when you go to the mountain where the wisdom,
spring
of wisdom,
and the dragon is wrapped around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is one of the most prettiest scenes in the game that I've ever seen, man. Like,
I wish I would have snapped a shot of that.
Yeah, that I did too, and that literally kind of made me stop and literally just appreciate the artistic direction of this game to where you would not see that type of animation in a more realistic game. It would take a game like this, and I guess that Japanese culture, that the way that they did that, it literally made me pause to the point I just stood there and just looked at how high I could see it up the mountain wrapped around. I mean, this thing was literally wrapped around the whole mountain. Mm-hmm. And when you solve the situation and you come up there, it's just a scene that just literally blows you away, man.
And I didn't know. I went in completely blind with it. No one had told me about that, and when it happened, I wanted to tell everybody, but I was like, nope, I'm not going to spoil it. Yeah. I'm not even going to say go to Mount Lanariu or whatever. Like, I'm not even going to suggest anybody go there right away. I want to wait till someone brings it up because I ran
across and I was like, what the fuck is going on over here?
Man, it's the most beautiful. I mean, literally, my mouth dropped, and all I could do was just take it in. Like, dude, this is the type of stuff that makes me not be able to leave Nintendo alone. You will not get that nowhere else, man. And what's the same thing they do like that? They do this type of stuff in Mario. Games just have this unique way of designing something that is uniquely them. And when I saw it, I was like, dude, this can literally be something I'll put up on the wall. Like, I'll frame this and put it on the wall.
I'd love to see the concept art drawings for that scene. That would be.
And that to me, that whole, because you're talking about, that beasts, those, because there's, the springs or whatever. I don't want to give too much away.
I got to find the other ones, man.
The coolest thing. It's like, because, this game, is very different from other Zelda games, but it still adheres to the Zelda world and Zelda lore. And the fact that we talked about how those springs were the different Triforces, and we didn't even realize it when we were messing around them. I had to actually told Juice he had already found them all already, and he didn't realize that was. And then you look at the names of these divine creatures flying around, and you're like, wait a minute, Ocarina of Time. I'm like, Ocarina of Time. Those were the three goddesses, and this is like their representation. This is their incarnation in this game.
Well, it's like Din's Fire was
the color matches from the Ocarina of Time, and the names. If the names are very similar, they add a little bit more onto it in Breath of the Wild. But it's all the same root name. And I was just like, all right, now this game has ascended above Ocarina of Time for me as the greatest Zelda game of all time because of that.
The three, I'm looking at the Ocarina of Time. It was Din, Nehru.
I can tell you, Nehru and Furore. That was the most amazing thing in '98 when that whole sequence went through, and I was just like, "This isn't a game anymore. This is like an experience."
Right. And another thing too is, I hear the people that's fussing about the lack of traditional.
It's all there.
I'm like, dude, like, what game are you playing? First of all, the whole game is a dungeon. But like, if you go to the mazes, you go to is this one tropical area?
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I don't have the names down.
Eventide Island. You talking about Eventide Island?
Yes, it's like, dude, there's so much there. There's like there's different areas to. It's like it's all kind of dungeons in this game. You just got to get your mind out of going in one and staying in one for a long time. No, you don't do it like
30,
that.
an hour.
But man, from the shrines to the different locations and the puzzles within the world and the mazes that you got to go to, it's so many of those. And it's like, dude, I haven't missed a dungeon yet. It felt like I stumbled upon a dungeon every other day. You know what I'm saying? So I don't get.
I get why some people might be like, yeah, I like the traditional dungeon on top of everything else. But to me, the variety, even though the shrines, the aesthetics very similar, maybe they could make them a little more aesthetically different. But to me, like all the little puzzles in the shrines and having it in short form, because some of I love the dungeons in past Zelda games, but there was a couple that I was like, I did that. I don't know if I ever want to do that dungeon ever again. Like some of them,
when you get stuck and he's just like, ugh.
Some of them bordered on tedious, but I can't call somebody stupid or say, I can't see where you're coming from if they want dungeons too. But for me, just the world, the puzzles in the world make up for it. Now, yeah, if they had all that and dungeons,
yeah,
it could be cool.
I believe that's what because I believe the added the DLC that's coming this December is going to be, I believe it's going to be Zelda's side of the story.
That would be cool.
That's what I believe.
When you get like 100 puzzles, some of them are just grab the treasure chest shrine,
Some are combat.
And some are combat. So you get that, but then like the exploring, that's one of the things we liked about a dungeon too. The entire world is a dungeon in that aspect, because you explore this world and so much stuff opens up to you. Like
that's what I agree with. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
and you know what?
Like, I don't miss it. Would I like a dungeon to come back? Of course, I wouldn't mind. But for this game specifically, I didn't miss the dungeons after, putting, what am I at, 140 hours in now?
I guess what they could do to you is they can turn, like in the future, if they're going to go with this formula from here on out, which they sound like that's what they're going to do, they can make some of the shrines appear to be more dungeon-like.
Yeah, they can make.
Yeah, of course.
Like
more intricate.
Yeah,
maybe not so many of them. Make them more.
Yeah.
There are some shrines that are pretty huge. The one where you have to like use stasis. There's like gears revolving. And
some of them will surprise you.
And I was like, and then there was one that was like 3, 4, 5 different rooms of
3
like
or 4. I just played one
puzzles.
like that recently.
And I'm like, and then there's one where it's so simple and it's like, it's so random. But for me, I like that. And Leveled, I sent you a video. I don't know if you ever saw that, the details of Zelda versus Horizon in video,
where they was jumping and
where they showed like the animals reacting in the two games. They showed
fish and jumping in the water and
the physics engine.
She was jumping in the water and the water wasn't moving and things like that. Yeah, I saw it.
Okay, yeah, I think you might have talked about that on one of your podcasts. But
it's amazing how Nintendo gets overlooked, and then you'll see something like that. I was like, wow, that is no realistic. It looks good, but she landed in water, and the water looked like the ground. So that's kind of.
And the fish didn't react. And then in Zelda, you can for upgrading some of the gear, you need it's the Zora gear. You need certain fish, and even the stealth gear. You needed the I forget the trout or whatever. One of them. And I'm like, I'm trying to catch these things.
The thunder trout.
There was like it starts with the S. I can't think of it right now.
Oh, okay.
I could look it up.
And I'm like, Zelda had fish reactions in '98, son. Like,
yeah. Here's the thing.
Even Ocarina of Time, the fish move out of the way when you come at them.
I know, but in Call of Duty, that was new a few years ago. But anyway, so here I am trying to chase these things, and they dive down. I'm like, I can't catch them. And then I was like, remember that details video? I think they did something in there. So I think they use a bomb in that one, but I use the shock arrows. I see where they are. I got my little Sheikah sensor telling me that it's the right fish I need. And I shoot the shock arrow, and then they come belly up. And then I just swim out. I pick them all. And it doesn't matter if they're dead or alive for the game. And then I got enough. And just the way I could do that different. I could do it the hard way, but there I was just like, I'm going to do some Crocodile Dundee fishing.
Some dynamite fishing.
You can use bombs or shock arrows. So another story that I had, and this happened yesterday. I watched Magnificent Seven in the afternoon with Denzel, and it's a good movie. But there's so many scenes where they're on a horse shooting pistols without aiming and like hitting people from like 40 yards away, and I'm kind of laughing because I know shooting guns is not that easy. And so anyway,
Bouncing up and down, it ain't easier.
with that in mind, I'm on my horse. I'm leaving the Akala region. I'm heading south, and you know, there's those spots where there'll be NPCs who are getting attacked by moblin or bokoblins, and after every blood moon, they come back. So I'm on my horse. We're at full speed. I'm like, I ain't getting off to help this guy. So using my gyro and I turn facing backwards on my horse, and I'm waiting for the bokoblin to come into view, and he's probably 30, 40 yards in the game, you know, in game distance. And I aim up, and as soon as I see him, I let go. Shing! Get that critical hit.
Nice.
And I see his health bar down to nothing, and then I just turned back, and I was just like, I forget what I said to myself, but I out loud celebrated. It was the coolest thing.
I know what you said. You said bullseye.
Oh God!
I didn't say that, but it was just like, and I've done not from horseback before, but I pulled off some critical headshots just in the game before, but that one was my favorite, and it happened yesterday, like right at the end of my play session, and it was just so cool that I pulled it off. And I immediately was thinking of my criticism of the movie Magnificent Seven. I was like, I guess you can. Guess you can shoot from a horse.
In a video game and a movie, but still not real life.
But that was, to me, it was so cool. I mean, just a little thing, but nothing I've ever experienced before in a game, so that was cool.
140, 150 hours in, still having cool experiences.
Yeah, and because of this one shrine that I'm determined to find the right way, I've found some cool areas that I'd been by, but I never really delved into. There's like a big hill, a grassy hill with like rocks littered throughout. At the top, there's a guy selling shields, and it's like the perfect shield surfing spot. Of course, they wear because it's grass, but if it's raining, it doesn't. And I just found myself spending about 30 minutes there riding down shield surfing, and then breaking like old shields to buy the shields he was selling. I was seeing if it would start a side quest, which it didn't. And it was just like, I was right by this area. It's not too far off a road. And, 150 hours in, because I'm looking for a shrine, I've found so many of these just cool little areas and Korok seeds that I never would have found. And that's why I'm just still having fun and still determined I'm going to find the shrine. And it's going to be just so awesome when I finally, hopefully the Sheikah sensor will, because I don't know if it's one where the Sheikah sensor is going to go off, because I had one. It wasn't a shrine quest, so I still hoping one day to get that blip on the Sheikah sensor. But I'm still looking with my own eye. Like, I'm not just relying on that just in case it's not going to go off. So, but just
that may be time for me to chill out, and you start having actual nightmares about being chased by the Yiga clan. I was like, for real? Did I just have that nightmare? Wow. This is crazy.
I've definitely dreamt about playing the game. I haven't dreamt about being in the game, but
yeah, I'm with you on that. I have dreamt about running through fields,
mm-hmm.
and when I see trees and stuff, I wonder if there's apples there. But I'm serious. Like, I was driving past. I was heading out to Walmart, and I was driving past this area that had the little flowers and all that. I was like, wow, Zelda will be running through that picking those for different things.
There a Korok under that stone over there?
Yeah.
Dude, you think, man, so there's areas in this game I'm just now discovering, like, in the last 2 days. I haven't even been to them. So and I had the game for a month now, and you can literally get that lost to where you can be in one area and it still feel like you got so much in that area to explore that there's other areas I haven't really. There's some areas I maybe have 2 shrines there. So it's still a lot of game here to be played, man. I got about an hour. I got about 100 I think about 120 hours in now.
Yeah. Once you get through all the shrines that are clearly visible, then it gets a little tricky. But the one hint I will say to anybody, if you're struggling or tempted to look up where to find it, in the towns, there's definitely shrine quests triggered by the time of day that you're in that town talking to a specific person. I've noticed, especially and side quests where I was in Kakariko Village for 2 different cycles of day and night, and you talk to somebody and it's a different interaction depending on the time of day. There's one house I didn't go in at night to I needed, but so I went and did that in all the towns, and I just did a side quest. I got 5 left, and I just did one in Rito Village, the first village I went to. Early in 20 hours in the game, I pretty much felt like I'd done everything in that village, and I hadn't. And it's a little intimidating. I have no idea where these other 5 side quests
Does it have to do with people singing?
No, this was a dude, and he has a wife. And
okay.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
first
about.
I had to his wife needed something, and then the guy needed something. I think the wife wanted.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about.
And I mean, he just was only there at night, and he was in a spot, I forget where, and he's just like, yeah, I need some flint. Got any? Yep.
Yeah.
So cool stuff,
Have you found all the monsters or the beasts that's out in the game, that the unique ones? Like, I keep hearing about this one particular beast that roams a mountain, and
you ain't even seen that yet.
No.
How many hours you in?
Wait, what beast? I'm trying to think of what beast that.
I talked to this guy. I can't remember what village it is, but it says don't go up there. There's this glowing monster or something. He talks about going to see the horse.
Yeah.
But he said there's a monster up there that I've been up there several times, and I've seen the god, the god horse or whatever he is.
Oh, that thing. Okay. Yeah.
But they say it's a monster up there too. There is a skeleton monster.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if I've seen it yet. Then.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either.
I mean, just like all things, there's a skeleton version of just about everything in the game. It's a skeleton version of the Hinox, I believe.
Hinox.
Yeah, I've fought a skeleton version of the Hinox, but it wasn't there.
I think that's what's up there. That's the first one I saw. And I thought I heard somebody hint at like an abominable snowman, like Hinox, but I have not. I've been to the snow region. I have not seen one.
A bear. I see people riding bears. I haven't seen a bear yet.
Yo, I'm 140 hours in. Twice. I still have not seen a bear.
The Gerudo Highlands, they're there every time now.
I look.
Goblins are riding on them, and they're hunting wildlife.
It must be in one spot because I never see them.
I ain't seen a bear yet, man. I'm seeing people riding bears.
Have you been
people riding bulls? I'm like, dude, how you
almost sound mad. He like, man, I ain't seen no bears.
Every time I get close to a moose or a bull, they charge me. I can't
I rode everything else.
Yeah,
is this like a life dream now?
Yeah.
I don't think you can ride the goats though.
You have to. No, you can't ride little goats.
No, you're too big.
But you have to ride for a specific shrine quest.
Yeah, there's a shrine you have to ride.
Shrine or whatever quest. Animal. Yeah.
Have you?
I know where the bull is, but every time I get to him, he either run out and disappear, or I killed him. I was like, well, maybe I gotta kill him.
I came in overhead from on his behind. Nothing he could do.
There's like you talking about like the water buffalo, like the big horn, like the 2-horn buffalo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never rode one of those.
I've seen people riding those too, man. I've seen a dude literally take himself all the way up in the sky by
using that mine cart.
Yeah, like dude, who thinks of this stuff?
I know Nintendo wasn't expecting people to do that.
What about the octo balloons on a raft that takes you way up in the sky?
On the raft.
That's pretty good. I wish you could. I had a Korok leaf and it didn't propel me forward. I was a little bummed.
I found out by mistake the octo balloons on the raft. I was just like, I selected them by mistake whole, and I was like, and I came out of the menu and I thought I was like, bringing them back into my, but I actually tossed them, and that's why I was like, whoa, because I didn't know the balloons did anything. I just thought it was something you can make elixirs.
I'm not sure. Somebody had put a bomb on a balloon, and then
it's crazy what I've seen people do.
Yeah, and then you stasis, and then like jumped with the shield, shield surfing, and then blew the bomb up, and it propelled him up to a part of the shrine. He got.
Did you watch that video with the cuckoo?
I didn't watch that.
Take a cuckoo to Ganon.
Yeah, I see that one too. And it did it too.
It worked.
And you know what's cool about that? Even the memories, not the actual memories, but when you trigger a cutscene to start a memory. When you go to Ganon, when you're talking to, in the middle of the battle, it doesn't cut to the stock Link gear like a lot of, like, The Last of Us does, Uncharted. You can put on the special costumes, but when it goes to a cutscene, a lot of games jump to the stock uniform. Well, with Link, I got to the point where I was like, I'm going to put on my favorite outfit before I start this memory or before I go to Ganon, because I don't want to be watching him react in the cutscenes with the like some stupid thing on his, some of those headgears aren't appealing to look at. They're functional. But so I started like putting on my favorite outfit before a cutscene, which is, I don't know, it's just weird that I'd even worried about that.
Last thing I would say, this is the last thing I saw, was somebody started, and this is no spoilers, I'm sure if you played the Zelda game, you fight Ganon in different, what do you call them?
Forms.
Yeah. So final form Ganon. This dude somehow started that fight, got to that part, but he left the area and he just took off, and he had little captions as he was riding off, like, "Oh, hope Zelda can handle that on her own." And he just like was roaming around doing all kinds of crazy stuff, and everywhere he went, it was still the final battle music, and it was just the weirdest. People are a trip, man.
Yeah, I wouldn't even think to try to leave that battle,
Yeah, I wouldn't think of it either. He was like, well, let me hop on the horse, got to the edge, did some weird thing to get out. I was like, but he couldn't get back in. He tried to get back in and he couldn't.
It's crazy.
It was hilarious.
He's in the people who are able to leave the plateau early, but that you figured out the glitch that happens when you do.
Oh man, that is the funniest thing ever.
That shit's funny as fuck, because you can do it by doing the stasis and hitting the item and fall. But as long as you land in the water, you'll be fine.
Right.
But the game will recognize.
He's like, nope, you ain't supposed to be here yet, right?
And so the game will just randomly kill Link and but sometimes the shit lags out. So like the dude was able to walk around for like a good 10 minutes.
Yeah, I saw one.
And then he gets on the horse and you hear Link go,
as he's riding the horse.
You know what I wanted to do even before getting stasis, before the castle activates, before the shrines activate, is like, there's got to be a way to get down and just go up to the castle before Calamity Ganon swirling around.
You won't make it.
No, I'm sure that wouldn't happen. But
the game kills you before you get a chance.
The game will kill you.
You know what's funny? Like, it just says a lot about this game. Here's what I wrote down for my notes. Zelda stories, progress. I didn't know. I figured maybe we'd spend 10 minutes on this. It's been like 40 minutes.
Holy Christ.
Are you surprised?
And you can hear the joy in everyone's voices.
And it's all different experiences.
Completely different experiences. And I've literally played this game every day since March 3rd at 12:30 in the morning. I've played it every day for almost 2 hours at least 2 hours every day. I haven't missed a day, let alone turn on my Switch, but turn on Zelda. I've played it every single day since it came out. And it's April 17th right now. So that's a testament right there. I don't know what else you could say about a game. I played Xenoblade Chronicles X more, like hours-wise, but I'd take a week off, take 3 days off, and then I took months off at times, and then I'd come back. And I've never been this gripped with a game, and I've never put more than 40 hours in a Zelda game, ever. Like, other than A Link to the Past, all the times I've played it over the years on Virtual Console, on Game Boy Advance, and all the different ways I played it, maybe, and I think 3-4 times I beat it on the Super NES. I'm sure that's over 40 hours through all these years. But the launch system it came on, definitely. I think Wind Waker, I had the HD version. I think I had 30 some hours. Twilight Princess HD, I think I had 20 some hours. Who knows about the original Ocarina of Time? I mean, that was probably 40 to 50. So it's just like, I can't believe I have over 150 hours into a Zelda game, and I've not started it a second time. It's crazy.
It's great. I was sitting there and I thought I kept saying on my podcast, man, I put in about 60 hours. I think I got in about 60, 70 hours. And I haven't, and I keep telling you can see the actual
I'm gonna look right now.
You played after so many days, it shows you. So I looked up on there, man. I was saying 60, and I actually had 100. So
Crazy.
I was like, man, I didn't know I had been playing this much, but I could tell by my wife's eyes. And I might have been playing a little too much, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so this
Yeah,
just
right.
makes me wonder, like, not to jump away from Zelda, but it plays into what Zelda is and the new approach that Nintendo seems to be taking. Odyssey says it's borrowing from the way that they approach from Zelda. They're going to try to do some of that in Mario. So it's just like, dude, if you can do what you did in Zelda with a Mario game, yeah, I'm ready for that. You know what I'm saying? So
Mario Odyssey trailer is like double Breath of the Wild's trailer, like views wise. So like there's more people excited about Mario Odyssey. Look at what Zelda's done for Switch and for people's excitement. It's just crazy that Mario Odyssey has way more views on the trailer on YouTube. It just tells you the power of Mario.
Universal, man.
But I'm noticing finally my Fast RMX says something other than played for a few minutes. It says played for 5 hours or more, which I knew I had a couple hours.
Mm-hmm.
Snake Pass 5 hours or more, and Zelda says 155 hours or more. I wish I'd get a little more specific.
They just made the right. I mean, look, Zelda. Everybody was like, "This is not enough. This is just one look.
Just one game.
Look what it's doing. One game, and everybody that's complaining putting in. Not us. I'm just saying. I saw people that's complaining. There's not enough games here, but you got 100+ hours in on this game. Like, dude, it seems like you got enough game there. Because
the funny thing is, my 2 most played games. One's basically a game Fast, which I have, Fast Racing Neo, even though RMX has a few extra tracks, and Zelda, which are both Wii U games, are like my 2 most played. But still, I don't.
The Switch hasn't even. I don't want to spoil a video of mine, but we haven't really gotten Switch games yet on this thing.
Not a ton, no. Really.
So imagine when that actually starts happening.
ARMS will be the first like true Switch game, I think, and maybe that started on Wii U. We don't know. I'm thinking it started on Switch though.
I think it started on Switch too.
Yeah. Yeah, I have 246 Korok seeds too, which Red Knight has over 400. He really
good on y'all. I barely got over 100.
I ain't got, but I think I got about 40, something like that.
I'm to the point where I don't even need to upgrade gear anymore, so I'm not even trading them in.
They're everywhere. So,
but felt like I had one more thing. But we can wrap this up. Good discussion. Like I said, I was like, I don't know what we're going to talk about with Zelda this time. And of course, just like always, it just naturally happens. I beat the game like 2 weeks ago. It was like, I don't know, 110 hours into the game or something. So continuing to play it. We'll see what happens once I find that final shrine. That might be the time to put it down, but Mario Kart will be out, and I'm going to try to focus more, maybe play some Bomberman for the first time since March 3rd, because I haven't put that cartridge in since that day that I got the Switch. But yeah, good stuff, and appreciate everybody in the chat, and let's get final thoughts and then get out of here. So Terrell, I know you haven't had much to say because you've been playing Persona more than Zelda lately, but what's your final thoughts?
Currently playing Zelda now. I'm mad because I found the shrine that he was talking about to get the scarf, but I can't figure out how the fuck to do this memory test. That's the point. Persona 5 is still good. I'm still playing that. It's still a lot of fun. The Switch Gang boys, that's always going to be a thing. Good podcast. I'm glad we got the Nintendo Direct. We got a lot of cool stuff. Wonder Boy comes out tomorrow. Patch for Fast RMX. We got games to play, and then Mario Kart is next Friday. So I think we're good. So as I always say, life's a game. Play to win.
All right, Mezza T.
Yeah, man, great podcast. I can't believe I'm still disenthralled by a game I beat over a week ago. I got games to play. I got 10 Switch games. But every time I start playing them, it's like, I'd rather be playing Zelda. It's crazy. It's crazy. So I don't know about anybody else having a Switch drought. I'm not having it. I mean, I got a ton of games. Just watch my videos, man. I got 900 games or something ridiculous. And all I want to do is play Zelda on Switch. It doesn't make any sense. But I think that's a testament to how great the game is. Greatest game of all time. for me especially. So yeah, the direct was awesome. Looking forward to what's coming, and play Nintendo, fools.
All right, Leveled. Back on the juices loose, man, and great
Yeah.
discussion. So
First
any
of
final
all,
thoughts?
I enjoyed myself. I appreciate and honored to be on here with you, Terminator Juice, Terrell, and Mr. T. A lot of T's up in here. Anyway,
T-City, baby.
Triple T. Anyway, definitely enjoy the Nintendo Direct. Definitely enjoying the Switch and Zelda. And I'll say this, man, if you feel like you're having a Switch drought, then turn on your other system and buy a game on there. Maybe you'll forget about the drought that you supposedly having on the Switch. Because I ain't seen a drought yet. So but yeah, definitely enjoy myself. Look forward to coming back again. Hopefully I can get some of you guys over to the Live and Level Gamers podcast. And till next time, folks, deuces.
All right, and I have my PS4, which I don't regret buying. I actually played 10 minutes.
I didn't.
Of the
Damn.
Gravity Rush 2 free DLC pack for the Raven character. I played a little bit of that, but I was just
Have
like,
you beat that game already?
no, I haven't.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, it's cool, but I was just like, I'd rather be playing my Switch right now.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
I mean, I'm a Nintendo fan first and foremost, and the PS4 helped me get through a couple 3-4 months of not having anything. So but I can still, like, someday I'll pick up Horizon, and someday I'll pick up another game probably.
Yeah, I noticed how you just stopped talking about that game as soon as you got
No, it's a good game.
Stop talking about everything.
It ain't no Zelda. So but just because I have a Switch and I love it doesn't mean I'm suddenly gonna trade in my PS4 or anything. I'll keep it around. And my PC, I'm looking forward to that Battlefront 2 actually looks pretty interesting, and if it don't come to the Switch, I'll probably get it on PC. So, but anyway, great podcast. Great. Glad to have Leveled on, and a good discussion all around. I think, and the Robs will apparently be back next week. Robert's at Six Flags, and Rob was flying back from his Star Wars celebration, which I didn't even know that's what he was doing this weekend. So that was cool. I can't wait.
Twitter, you
saw the damn tweets.
I want to hear about it. It looked, it actually seemed like it was a pretty cool event. So anyway, we'll see you guys next week.